Oh, I should probably add myself to the stream, huh? I should probably do that before I talk to you. But I see Mark DeVol's in the studio. How like he's there. Hey, Mark, am I on the right microphone? Give me a thumbs up if I'm on the right mic. All right. Mark's giving me the thumbs up. Hey, welcome everybody to my 36th birthday charity support brand growth event. I'm so happy that everybody is hanging out with us today. I have Eric Rosenthal and apparently Mark DeVol sitting in the studio ready to go. And before I bring Eric in, I want to remind everybody while we're here to celebrate 36 years. That's the last number on the roulette table for those who need a gambling reference here. 36 years on Earth. There was a couple points of my life where I thought 36 was a stretch, but we're here, and in 2021, I decided I was going to lean in a little bit more on the better life, that I wanted to embrace this brand, be more involved in this community. So I was like, hey, let's do a live stream with some of my friends. I asked a bunch of quick favors from people that I often ask favors from. They all agreed, and we're here to talk a number of things different with each of them. The two charities that are being supported today are the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, which supports homeless in Las Vegas, and then Arlington Food Assistance Center, which is a local charity here to me in Northern Virginia that help people with food, families that are meal insecure with food if they can't afford groceries. So I think just based on followers, it said I was going to give $1 for every new follower that I got during this span. I think just based on followers, we're at about the $100 mark. So each charity will be so far has $100. We'll add up all the viewers from the live stream today, and then, because we got such a positive response, because people have been so supportive, I know a lot of people wanted to watch this stream but couldn't for whatever reason. I guess it's a holiday and people had to like travel or something like that. So when this posts on YouTube, when the stream's done, it'll post on YouTube. Every subsequent view that this video gets will be just another dollar to both charities. So, and then I have a couple games to play with a few of the people that are going to be joining me that will possibly be little multipliers to whatever that last dollar amount is. But I was happy to do this. Shout out to Adam Bauer, who's the one who recommended Las Vegas Rescue Mission. That's where he got me familiar with that organization, and I think it's it's a big deal with what organizations like that do in Las Vegas. So we're here. I hope people can hang around for as long as you can. I know it's a holiday weekend, but don't worry. The video will save to YouTube, but maybe not every part, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe I might do a little bit of editing before it hits YouTube. So stick around if you can. Looking at the what do we got? Mike Cunningham's in the house. Hello. Jeff was just listening to me in the car. I'm everywhere, baby. The better life is everywhere, doing our thing. Where do you want us to follow and watch from? Just watch. You're watching here. That's perfect. Wherever you're watching from, it's all the same. Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. That's where the stream is right now. Whichever one you're watching right now, that's the one that matters. I am at The Better Life on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And then I also have my soccer Twitter handle, Football Bet is Life, FUTBOL Bet is Life. So those are the accounts. And if you follow up until the end of today, that's when tomorrow morning is when I'm gonna do the final tally on following. So you have all day. So without further ado, look at Fin Crusher. I like to make a donation. Great. If you want to make a donation, independent of the effort here, if you feel compelled to, I will at some point in the stream. I'll make sure I drop the URLs to those organizations to give them their support. Thank you for everybody for willing to do that. Thank you, Just 36. This video is intended for mature audiences. That definitely isn't me. Well, okay. They're Bogan, I guess. Considering some of the jokes you've made in the stream, I'm pretty sure you are okay with some of the mature topics. All right. Without further ado, it's been a year since he was listed as the co-host of The Better Life. He's been on the show a couple times since then, filling in moments in which we need some content in the community. Live from, I'm not even quite sure, Mr. Eric Rosenthal. Sir, how are you?
Hey, brother. How are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's good to be here. You know, I planned on, and I'm kind of disappointed to get a chance to do this, but I ran to MGM National Harbor to pick up some from free play they have from their birthday kiosk game, right? That you can play on your birthday, and I was hoping to actually get some roulette in while I was there, but a couple of my errands ahead of time ran a little long, so I didn't have enough time to actually go to the roulette table because this was my last year to play my birthday on the roulette table, and I squandered it. Poor planning on my part.
So you may still have that opportunity. We'll see where these 20 minutes take us.
Okay. All right. Very good. I like that. I like your optimism. Mm-hmm. Eric, going into this, you said you had a little game you wanted to play with me here in celebration of my birthday. So to make sure we have enough time for that, let's get that started. What you got for me?
All right. So again, happy birthday. One of the things that I always enjoyed that we did were charity bets. That was interesting to me. It was always fun. You got to do good and have fun while doing it. And I know you love a gimmick. Not only do you love a gimmick, I know you love a free roll.
Ooh,
I figured if I could combine a free roll and a gimmick, that would be a good birthday present for Mr. Timothy Lawson.
Agreed. What you got for me?
So my birthday present to you will be a donation to the charities of your choice.
Okay.
But you're going to have to sweat it a little bit. All right? We're going to make a little action here.
Okay. I like where this is. This is a great way to celebrate my birthday. A little betting going on. I like it.
I'm going to pull out 3 envelopes, and I'll explain what each one is. You're going to pick one envelope, one of the options. 2 of those 3 envelopes, there's a mixed bag as to what can be in there, and the third option has been predetermined. And I'll just unveil what the answer is. All right. So let's go through your 3 options.
Okay.
All right. We're going to call this Better Birthday.
Better Birthday. Okay. I like it.
This envelope has 3 smaller envelopes in it.
Okay.
With 3 donation amounts.
Okay.
$72, $144, or $360.
Okay.
Of your birthday.
Yes.
Okay. So should you choose option 1, I will pull out of this envelope one of the smaller envelopes, and that will reveal how much I'm donating on your behalf.
Okay.
Okay. Pretty straightforward.
Yes.
This is like the direct deposit tip.
Okay.
Option 2.
Okay.
Bet on yourself.
Ooh.
There's 3 envelopes in here.
Yeah.
You get the 1X envelope. I'm going to match your donation.
Okay.
You get the 2X envelope. I'm going to double your donation up to $1,000.
Okay.
You get the 10X envelope. I'm going to pay 10 times whatever your donation is up to $1,000.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Right, so still, there's no way that your donations can lose. It's just to which degree are they going to win.
I dig it. Okay.
Option 3. Thanks for the segue. You made this quite easy. You've been doing a lot of talking about single zero roulette.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Are we going to play roulette?
I made a birthday wager for you. Don't worry about the whatever's over here. I can't do this.
Okay.
All right. So there was $100 in action. Okay.
Okay.
If you choose this option, you get the result or a minimum $100 donation to your charity. Okay. So if it was a whiff, I'm donating $100. But we've got a quarter split on 33 and 36. 33 is my number, 36 is your birth number of years you're alive.
Yeah.
A quarter straight up on 7 and 2.
Okay.
Okay. And we've got the first 12.
Oh, we got the first
12. Should you choose option 3, I will just reveal what the result was. This is just an image to show you a representation. This was on a real felt table, single zero.
This was done on a real felt table.
On a real felt table. If you recall, I reached out to you to find out when your actual birthday was, and you confirmed it was 7/2. And shortly after that, this bet was made on your behalf.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. Now,
oh man, I'm torn.
It is entirely possible that this came up blank, and then it'll be $100. It is entirely possible that any of the other numbers hit directly. Okay. You can bet on yourself, and it's a multiple of what you're going to be donating. Or you can take the easy way, and you're looking at the direct deposit 72, 144, or 360.
Yeah, I got to know. Is surrender an option here?
Yes. Surrender is absolutely an option. To surrender, I will give you half of the better birthday.
I'm not surrendering.
The 36 times 10. If you surrender, I'll make it 36 times 5 and make it 180.
Okay. By the way, Tara, very excited to see you.
Hey, Tara.
Yeah.
For a long time. I haven't seen Tara. I think she's Dr. Tara now, by the way.
Oh, my apologies, Dr.
I haven't seen her since she's become Dr. Tara. I think she's out in Connecticut now.
Okay, so we're dismissing option 1. We're dismissing option 1. Okay. I think it's either bet on myself or play some roulette.
The envelopes were in there.
Okay. Oh, you're just showing me that
I destroyed option 1. The envelopes are really in there.
John Lee's got a great point. The irony if that spin happened to land on 0.
Well, that would be $100 just like any other.
Okay. So, all right, you said 100. So we've already hit $100. Like, so $100 is already the minimum. Not even. I see how many people are watching current. Like, I see the number of live people. And so I
don't see any of this.
So I think, yeah. So I think $200 is easily going to get cleared by the middle, but actually by the end of Scott. By the time Scott Stratten leaves, I think we'll be at the $200 mark. Past that. So,
or you choose. I think option 2 is more money, right?
Yeah, I was going to say I think the multiplier is the way to go here. As much as I want to see to play a little bit of roulette, I think option 2 is the way to go.
What if I told you option 3 was definitely a winner?
Oh man, hey, what is that problem again? The Monty Hall, right? The Monty Hall problem. Now you chose door number 2. Let's reveal what was behind door number 3. It's a goat. Now, do you want to switch? By the way, you should always switch if you're ever in a situation. Oh no, I'm gonna go with the 1 in 3 chance that we get a 10x multiplier. And you find yourself dropping a few dimes on my favorite charities.
$1,000 cap, buddy.
Oh, that's right. It's $1,000 cap. Okay, that changes everything. That actually changes everything. So the $1,000 cap, which means a 5x, is the best I really can do, anyways.
Well,
what was the option 2?
Together, I had no idea what your.
I know. That's why I'm trying. So what was option, or what was the second envelope in option 2 on that multiplier? 5x.
No. 2x.
2x.
It's 1x, 2x, or 10x.
Let's play roulette.
Okay.
Yeah, let's play roulette. Yeah. That cap was the difference.
Okay. I hope Vito's watching because he enjoys what's about to happen. So we sprinkled a few quarters around the table. Some of you who are familiar with me know I do have a past story with the roulette wheel.
With Charles Barkley.
No, come on. Come on.
No, but that's what. No, what is the? Oh man, what is it? Why do you play 33 again?
Oh, this bastard.
Oh, why do? You, oh my goodness, I'm the worst friend. It's my birthday. You have to forgive me.
7 foot out of Georgetown. Your captain, Patrick Ewing.
That's right, Patrick Ewing. That's right. 33. Very good. That was a good choice. 33.
So it's $425 going out to your charities. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. That was the right choice. I'm happy with that result. Because even look at.
Do you want to play the
Vito saw it.
Vito and I had some fun yelling for the hard 6 that way, but maybe Mikey Nines is watching too somewhere.
Maybe Mikey Nines is watching too.
Do we want to play the what if game to see what it would have been?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Because this is a random select. You're just randomly to choose one of those, and that yeah, sure. Let's see what it would have been.
So we have a 1x.
Yeah.
2x. We have a 10x. Let me Mix them.
How are you gonna mix these so it's?
I've got Price Waterhouse Cooper standing by to make sure that this is independently. I don't have somebody else to choose, and I can't shake the bag. So
that's fair.
See, you won. You won.
Perfect. We did it. We did it, everybody. So 425. So I think we're at 625 now. That by the way, if anybody, I mean, look, you don't have to put dollar amounts in the chat, but if you feel compelled to donate to one of these charities, and you have let me know. I'm curious how many people jump this. So I'm confident we're gonna get to 200. Just by the end of the Scott Stratten segment, and we just added 425. I think we might get to 750 by the end of it. I think by tomorrow morning, when I look at the stream numbers, the added follows, and some of the early views, I think we might get to 750, which is huge. That's 750 for. Wait, so I'm giving this to both. Are you giving the both?
425 to each. Yeah.
Oh man, Eric. You are a mensch. Right? That's the word I'm supposed to use there? I did just insult you, did I? Okay.
No.
You're like, what? Enough of this. And that's when the live stream went downhill. Very good. Well, you by the way, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Happy birthday.
So I thank you. I actually have a little game for you as well.
Okay. I
will bump my contribution by 20% if you can adequately explain the offside rule in soccer right now.
Not a chance in hell. Are you kidding?
You know what's funny is earlier today when I thought of this, I was like, I could make it 1,000 times, and there's no way Eric is coming up with the right answer.
I will double my donation if you can explain to me how Megan Rapinoe is now the face of Victoria's Secret.
Oh, come on. I mean, it's she's got to be what, top 5 popular lesbians in the world, right? And if they're trying to diversify into the pride community and representation, she's a no-brainer.
Nah, it's not going to cut it.
Okay, well,
it's a purely subjective. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, all right, very well. But I am not just wearing this because it's Independence Day. I am wearing this because I also just placed a bet for the Olympics on the U.S. women's team to take gold home. So I'm very excited about that. You want to watch the game?
I might.
Oh man,
possible.
Too funny. Carl Schlegel's in the house. Hello, sir.
What up, Carl?
Randy Shadowin want to play my football pool again this year.
Randy, I'm in. Send it to me. I'll play this year.
Erickson, I am not in. Okay. So Eric, you are down in the Tampa Bay area, and I know that I only by legend. I really know nothing about it. I know there's a Hard Rock down there. Yep. You undoubtedly have had to have been there at least once. What are your thoughts on your local casino there?
Beautiful property. They're not the only game in town, but they're basically the only game in town. So they've got one in Tampa and they've got one in Hollywood, which is basically Fort Lauderdale. And they treat you like they're the only game in town. But beautiful property, very nice.
They treat you like you we'll treat you nice, but not too nice. We're also going to go gamble.
Tuesday night, it's like $500.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I have gambled enough at BetMGM properties now that National Harbor on a Tuesday is only $199 for me. That's the cheapest it's ever been if I've ever wanted to stay there. Right? Yeah.
Moving up in the world.
I know. I mean, so I'm okay. I didn't plan on asking you this, but I'm going to, and I'm confident you'll have an answer. People of early community discussion know that Eric Rosenthal was once, I mean, look at his t-shirt, look at his polo, was once big into total rewards. And you had some systems you gamed, you had angles you shot. But we also know that Caesars Rewards has really devalued itself. A lot of people are jumping ship from Total Rewards. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you think it's an overreaction from people on some of the adjustments that have been made, or do you think that Caesar Rewards really is purging too many good players with their changes?
Dress code aside, that just happened to be. Listen, the program's not what it used to be, and they're going to continue to look to nickel and dime. I think if you are a player that holds value to a casino loyalty program, I'd probably look elsewhere, unless you have a local destination that makes sense to build through promotions and relationships there. But I'm certainly not giving them very much action these days.
Is the players... Help me understand this, because this is one of those things that get explained to me from time to time, and I can never remember what the... So the Hard Rock down there has no affiliation when it comes to like play and rewards as other Hard Rocks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So not every Hard Rock was owned by Seminole. The old Hard Rock in Vegas, that's now Virgin, that wasn't owned by the Seminole tribe. But they all have like different programs. So the Hard Rock in Atlantic City, which is owned by the Seminole tribe, is on a different program than Tampa and Hollywood, which run on the same program. And then they have a third as well, I think, that participates in that program. And they all have very similar names, so it's super confusing. If you're going to put a lot of time in, their gifts are fairly lucrative, but you could probably find yourself at another Hard Rock across the country, think that you're part of the program, and sadly not.
I wonder how many people make that mistake. Has to happen more often than not.
So people going back and forth from New York, New Jersey to Florida, very, very frequent. Very, very frequent. I'm on those flights back and forth, and I see similar people pretty regularly. So I have to imagine there's people that are from Florida and wind up going to the Hard Rock in AC, or they're from the New York, New Jersey area, and they find themselves down in Florida, and they think that their card will, help them over there. It really doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rick D in the house. Great podcast this week, Tim. Thank you, sir. I rode solo this time, Eric. I haven't done that in a while. But pause. There's a euphemism. Okay. But I liked it. I think it was important to, it seemed like the right time of the year with casinos reopening, casino destinations starting to thrive again. I just kind of realized, much like other parts of my life, I'm sure, right, I needed to start exercising again. I need to start eating better, right? I should start drinking less now that the pandemic is coming to a close. And I was like, well, I should probably assess my gambling life as well. And I know, so I had someone actually DM me, or I think if they DM me, maybe they actually just tweeted at me. But I spoke on a podcast how I was considering. Not considering, but I was evaluating whether getting a platinum is worth it or not. I know that you have had or hold platinum. You know me. You probably know me better out of anybody as a gambler. Do you see any reason why there's no reason to extend myself to get platinum, right?
No. The only value that I've derived from the MGM Platinum card is status matches elsewhere.
Okay.
Once I lost the 7-star status, MGM Platinum was the most prominent higher level card that I held, that I was able to use that to negotiate other things. But no, the amount that you would have to play to earn platinum, no.
Yeah, I did some quick math. If I end up going to Vegas twice this again this year, or 2 more times this year, and I stay at MGM properties, platinum would be a stretch, but in like attainable. But I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth trying to, like, I was looking at some of the differences, and to your point, status matching. I don't really mess with status matching all that much anyway. So
unless you are a slots player, platinum is it's heavy duty. It really is. That's a lot of. I'm honestly shocked to hear you say you think in 2 trips to Vegas you could get there.
I say in 2 trips to Vegas, it would be attainable. Like I would be in a position to like if I tried to extend myself now, I'd run out of time and bankroll before I got there anyways, right? But here's why I have the M Life MasterCard, right? So a couple trips to an MGM property paid through that way with some play, like those are where I get sort of my bigger jumps. I'm at I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I'm about a quarter of the way to platinum now. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to get there. It would take too much work. But yeah. All right. Oh my goodness. I went over here to you know what? Let's I mean he's here. Hey Scott, I see you down there. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. All right, let's just bring Mr. Stratten up in here.
I'm always ready to go. What are you talking about?
You got to get ready when you stay ready.
Eric, what's up, man?
How are you, man? Good to see you again.
Likewise, coming to you live from my basement, like I've been for the past 15 frickin' months.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? You guys were all talking about M Life, and I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm even like they know I'm a person anymore. Start that climb up from the bottom of the hill, and as you both know, my my keynote to the Gaming Association is maybe persona non grata to a lot of these places.
You know, so. Of course, I really appreciated the shout out I got during that keynote. But the part that I appreciated about that part of your keynote was listen to gamblers. Yeah. Like your customer base is talking about you all the time, all over the place. Why aren't you paying attention to us?
Yeah, that was the thing. Is like it seemed like from the follow I got. Now, by the way, it wasn't the follow from a bunch of people. It was from the I never got more positive emails from an audience in my career. I've done over 500 keynotes at conferences, and I've never had so many people reach out and say, I just wanted you to know. Thank you for saying what you said. It's been needed to be said for so long. Unfortunately, the casinos that I had mentioned were not too pleased with it. But from my point of view is, look, I dropped a good chunk of coin on these places. And for those that aren't part of the conversation that don't know what's going on, I did a keynote and I just mentioned that I had left Caesars, the Caesars chain that I was loyal to, and Diamond. I wasn't 7 stars, but I was Diamond every year because I just felt like it was just absolutely useless. There was no benefit to it. It just became less and less benefits, less and less value, harder and harder to get. And so I told the story why we left and went to Cosmo. And so I walked them through, and that's how I do all my talks. I come from the angle of the customer, but apparently naming a brand, and I'm like, they don't know. I think they know. I think they know.
I wasn't surprised when you told me that was the response they got when I was at G2E. When they found out that I was a gambler and not a business side person, they acted very differently around me. To the point where I was doing one of the tests, Scientific Gaming had their big, blocked off area, and I was in there playing one of their one of their new games, and they're talking me up. Oh, what are you doing here? And I let them know, yeah, I got a podcast. I'm just here covering the event. Oh, what's your podcast about? Oh, it's about recreational gambling. I speak to gamblers. They quickly start asking, like, if it's okay. They're asking their bosses, can he be at the table? Is it okay if he takes a picture? It was a huge deal if I wanted to take a pic. It wasn't until that point. Right, but now when they found out that I was a content creator for gamblers, now it was a big deal. Like, should he even be allowed to take a picture of the table itself? And I really wanted to be like, it doesn't matter. None of us are going to play this dumb game anymore.
But that's it. I'm just like, never have people been so proud of something that was so mediocre. A lot of the times too, it's like, ooh, can he be doing this? Can he be doing this? I'm just like, you need to get over yourself. Yeah. You really do. Why are you at a trade show? You're at a trade show for 2 reasons: either to get people to buy more stuff or get the word out. Well, who the hell do you think gets the word out about things? It's not the person purchasing it for their casino. It's the people, it's the media, it's the people that have big mouths that kind of go out there and yell at stuff. And by the way, I love the comment from MJR Spork there about it's the better life or just a beard cast. Yeah, it is a beard cast right now. I'm 100%. Right. And
you're
funny. Yeah. And this is funny. So, and then Mark I'm sorry, I'm hopping in and running the show here for a second, but when he says, when is the Vegas 30 coming back? So we did a podcast, a 14 episode series podcast, the Vegas over 30. It was Vegas for people over 30, but we can't bring that back because I'm 46 now, so I'm gonna have to go like Vegas over 45 or something. It's just like you and you thought we were grumpy before.
I cannot wait for the Vegas 50 to come out.
The Vegas 50, it's just gonna be this the whole time. It's just gonna be the entire time. It's just like we're all staying at the Flamingo now. That's it. We've just all that's what we're doing. And it's been so we don't like it's that, but that show was interesting too, because casinos back in the day, 2010, 2011, you'd go to a place and they're like, we have to get on board for this Twitter world and everything else. I would check in and they would check my clout score, like the KLOUT, the clout, the company. And I was like, this is obscene. And they were embracing it for a small amount of time, and then they just dropped it again. And then, you can't film here, you can't do this here. I'm just like, you're not the only game in town anymore, which was the main thing of the keynote is when Vegas was only Vegas, you only competed with Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And Atlantic City was just people who just couldn't make it over to the West Coast necessarily. And now I'm just like, what state doesn't have things? What state doesn't? And it's like, you are going the wrong direction. You are making things harder and harder to achieve as a player, more restrictive, and I have more choice. In what business school did they teach you that what you're doing right now is smart? Which one? By the way, this is like the keynote I gave.
Yeah, no, please. I mean, if you got a handy, can you just like recite it to my my audience here? So if you went, so have you? I assume you have not. Have you even been in the United States since the?
No, I can't.
Yeah,
like I'm in Canada, so we closed the border, and I think I can now. I got my 2 shots, and I also have an E1 visa, so I can work there legally. And I just haven't gone. I just won't. I wouldn't. I was just not. It's just not happening until we have the shots. I'm not putting anybody else at risk, nor myself. But now I am. So yeah. So I have my first thing in the States in mid-August to go to. So it's going to be weird, man. I'm telling you, 15 months in this basement.
When you go back to Vegas, whenever that is, where, assuming it's a personal trip and not a business trip, that like if you're just there for Scott to have fun, where are you staying? Where are you going?
Well, our view of Vegas has certainly changed over the past 15 months, and you both know our love of Vegas, and we got married there. We got all those things, and I know it. I've been over 100 times, but we fell out a little bit of love with it, and mainly because it was seeing the visual of. When COVID hit, they painted lines in the parking lot for the homeless to sleep in at a distance. And I'm like, the city of hundreds of thousands of hotel rooms vacant, and we're going to paint homeless people lines in the park. And it was just, it was too much. And so now it's just like, okay, I still enjoy it. I still like it. Because I love excellence. I love the shows and the food. And I've been around the world multiple times, and so many things there. It just makes me happy. It makes Allison happy. And so we would stay at Cosmo again. We just love, and a lot of the reason we love it, you don't have to walk. Talk about the Vegas over true. 45, yeah. Right? My original love in Vegas was like it was MGM, and I still dig it. Like I still love Caesar's Palace and MGM, and there's no property I really hate, although slots of fun that can get under your skin sometimes. But
literally, something might get under your skin.
Exactly. But it would be Cosmo. But I'm really looking forward to seeing some new resorts. Cosmo was the last new big resort kind of made, and now we've got Resorts World. We've got Circa. Fremont. Yeah. I haven't been. Last time I was last January 2020 was when I was there last, and we are looking forward to it. Alice and I are looking forward to that, and kind of the break. We go there to sleep and eat mostly. Like it's like we have 5 kids that are now almost all fully grown, but it's like you go there to just do nothing.
Yeah,
but we're also and one of the things I would talk about at that talk and everything else is we are hermits. Usually where we stay. Like, so when we would stay at places like what would frustrate me, we stay at things like Caesars or MGM and stuff. We would play there, we would eat there, we would shop there, we would get a room there, and it would be everything. And the only thing they'd ever grade us on was play. And I'm like, how do you not take the whole picture?
Yeah. How
do you not know that and I get it. Look, it's better than buying dinner, just giving you the money that would be for dinner at a blackjack table in 5 minutes. It's much more profitable for them. I understand that, but that ain't the game anymore. You're not the only game. What else do you provide? Any casino provides slots, provides tables, has a show, has some restaurants. Okay. They open and close. They come and go. what are you doing for the guests, the players? How valued do they feel? And again, this is taking no effort to trigger me into a rant. I apologize. I have just come in here and I'm like, hey, everybody, this is my show now because I'm angry. And as you notice, the angry has not gone away for this.
I can see it's been sitting there for 15 months. It's like, just give me a platform, damn it.
Pent up, and I'm just like, and just blowing up now. But I love Vegas, man. It's. But the thing is, we don't have to stay at any specific place. And at this point now, I'd rather just pay to stay in a room somewhere else than have to go through a lot of their hoops to see if I can qualify for certain things. Like it's those the player cards and all that type of stuff. I get it. We have a deal. We give you our info. You get to track us. You get to see us. You get to give us comps. And in return, we should get stuff back. It doesn't feel that much anymore to the point. And I just don't I had a thing at the Cosmo where I went and checked in. We went to the desk and they're like, oh, sir, sorry, you're supposed to be in the fancy desk. And I'm like, and we go over to the fancier desk and we check in there. And then we did it again. And they're like, oh, sir, no, you're supposed to be in the suite thing back there, like going into the private door. And I'm like, oh, let's do this, bougie. And we go back into the back room. And then the next time I stayed, I went straight into that back room. They check in like, Mr. Stratten, great. Then we check. And they went, hang on a second. Went back to the manager. I'm like, get another upgrade. Nice. They walk out and they're like, hey, you're not supposed to check in here. And I'm like, well, what? They're like, yeah, it's the desk out front. And I do the walk of shame back out of this place.
I don't belong.
And I'm like, what? Yeah. Oh, I felt no sadness there. I just felt anger. I'm like,
yeah.
Do you know who I think I am? Do you have any idea who I am in my own mind? And it's just like, exactly. Carl asked there too, is the podcast material evergreen? The Vegas 30. Yes and no. A lot of it's about, playing what you're going to play and stuff like that. And a lot of the properties are still there, but obviously some of them are not. So
yeah,
it's your own warning. There's a couple great episodes there.
Can I jump in? Yeah. Carl, it's well worth a listen.
Yes, it's still worth a listen. I agree.
I appreciate that.
Scott can't say that without it. I can say it. It's worth your time.
I'm already a much more of an ass than I.
So the reason why Carl, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but the reason why Carl's asking is because Carl has booked his first ever trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am confident. I'm confident that he is looking for every bit of content he can to know what he should be doing on his first trip to Vegas. Something that I'll be talking to Vinny Chenz a little bit later.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm gonna let you go here for a moment. I'm confident we'll bring you back in, especially when I need a potty break. I'm gonna need someone to talk to my guests.
Wait. So I have to check in at the desk out there?
Yeah. You're at the wrong desk.
Yeah, you're at the wrong desk, Eric. If you could go back. No, Eric. Hey, thanks for doing this, man, and thank you for your very generous donation to Las Vegas Rescue Mission and Arlington Food Assistance Center. As I let Eric go here, that's the website if anybody wants to support the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. I mean, great point about how they treated the homeless situation during the pandemic. I agreed that I thought it was in poor taste at best. Right? At best. And Las Vegas Rescue Mission. If anybody's ever gone downtown, there's a good chance that you've driven right past the rescue mission and their efforts. It's right there as you're coming off the freeway as you're going to downtown. So good chance people have seen it. Scott, the last time you and I talked here on The Better Life, we talked about how your industry, specifically being a keynote speaker, completely got thrown on its head. And I remember you saying that right behind cruises, your industry may be one of the last to come into full. So now that we're 15 months later, how are things looking for you? Might we, do you think we'll ever see conferences and conventions in Vegas like we have before?
I do. And that's not I don't, well, it always is biased because it's coming from my brain, but one thing I have noticed during all this, and I thought back in March 2020, we had thought it was going to be about 18 months. And that was not because of our own intelligence or thoughts. It was just medical world and talking about vaccines. And I'm like, in September 2021, minimum. And that's really what it's close to being. Like my first gig back is mid-August, and then it's September with a few of them. The thing is, though, what people, I think, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the world here, but I think what people, they don't miss is the commute to the office.
Yeah.
A lot of times what they don't miss is the politics in the office. What they do love is getting some of their time back. You take an hour commute off somebody each way, and you've given them back 2 to 3 weeks of their life a year. And it's just like, how do you argue with a lot of those things? But what they do miss is the socialization stuff of it, of the seeing each other. And one of the things that conferences always, and I said this well before COVID, was one of the reasons I don't go to the conference cocktail reception, like the night before my morning keynote, is that it feels like a family reunion, and I'm not related to anybody there. And that's the truth. And I want to walk into a place, and they're like, and what division are you in? I'm like, oh, I'm just the keynote speaker tomorrow. And they're like, and what are they going to say? And they're like, well, what are you talking about? I'm going to answer that question 400 times, but that's their time. And you realize, like, me knowing I do these, a lot a year, there's maybe a lot for me, but this is their one. And it's their one thing. And a lot of the times, like I did a lot of franchise events before. So these franchise owners would come, and this was their vacation. Like they'd only leave their business for a long weekend or maybe a week, but they're like, so they're fixing in their vacation, their time together, and their escape. And that need certainly hasn't gone away. If maybe it's even increased. So what I do see is these conferences would be coming back. The trade shows, especially trade show based ones, which is the huge bread and butter of Vegas, right?
Right.
It just between CES, NAB, and the world of concrete, you're looking at 500,000 people showing up. And like that
the world of concrete. It's so true.
It's top. Did you know? I had no idea it was top 5.
Yeah.
There's 2 concrete shows that are in the top 5.
It's one of those fun trivia questions people have about Vegas.
But all those, Vegas is so because there's a difference. There's a difference between trade shows and conferences. I speak mostly at conferences that have trade shows. There's trade shows that have conferences, and there's a difference. So CES has that. It's a trade show with a side conference. And their big stage things is mostly product reveals and CEOs of the company. I don't speak at those. They don't pay to speak at those. The trade shows, though, are the bread and butter. It's those 100,000 square foot, million square foot convention centers. It's the new, the revamping of the Vegas convention. It's a Caesar's new prop. Like those things need to be filled. And you don't fill those a lot of times with just conferences. They're filled with trade shows. That's who needs the big booths. That's what makes a lot of the money. And I see those not only coming back, but coming back with a vengeance. Because if you've tried to attend a virtual trade show during the past 15 months, you understand how much it sucks. It's just painful because you get none of the serendipity you get at a trade show in person. You get none of the walking by, the aware of, oh, wait a second, what is that? Or what is this? Or I didn't even know this was, you don't get that. You get people picking the top people in virtual saying, I want to talk to this group, or not. And then we come, and yes, it's been incredible what we've done in a Band-Aid way over the past 15 months, but it doesn't beat it. It just doesn't. And what I've experienced as a speaker and what I've heard from hundreds of both attendees and organizers and meeting planners is that they just can't wait for it to come back on the other side. Now, there's going to be both, though. I really think we're going in hybrid mode, and I don't know if we'll ever come out of it. And I think that's good, that we'll have in person, and you'll have a virtual aspect for people who can't. Because one of the nice things, one of my favorite things about the pandemic this whole time was accessibility. It made more things more accessible to more people. There's a lot of people there who can't afford to go to trade shows, or the company can't pay them to go to the trade shows. There's people who don't want to go with them because of whether it's a disability reason or just dealing with humans. I don't want to go to half the trade shows I walk around anyways, because there's humans there, and they're just can be annoying. And so you have this ability that saying I can go.
Humans really are the most annoying part about existence.
They're just if it wasn't for people, trade shows would be so much more fun. And that's where I think that so we can take the good that we got out of this horrible time period that's still going on, and we can bring that along to what we loved before. And I think that is where I hope a lot of workplaces go. It's where I think a lot of events will go. So the ones that I've been doing right now, I have one in Boston in September. And so they're saying they're capping at 500 in person, and then they're doing a virtual as well.
a virtual event is going to be a must for every conference moving forward, right?
I agree.
It's no longer can we pull it off? Do we have the budget? I think it's going to be we have to, right?
Yeah.
Like we're like people. And you're right. Virtual stuff, conferences, trade shows, not fun. A lot. The most of the value, in my opinion, in going to those types of things are the discovery, not the what I know I'm going to experience, but the takeaway is what I learned or discovered that I didn't expect. Right? If I could anticipate everything I'm going to learn, why would I go? I would just YouTube that shit, right? Like,
and it's different for retention too. I really think so. That if I'm going to a conference versus watching one from home. You know what? I am 15 feet from my big screen TV and my Xbox. That'll pull me away from most things. Right? It's just like I'd rather do that. For a lot of times, and also, or I have family, or I have pets, or the dog's barking. There's a lot of distractions here as well. When you're at conference, you're just fully immersed, and it's the immersion part that is what I think conference brings and trade shows brings more than anything. People who, if you've worked a trade show or a conference, if you've attended a trade show or a conference, these are all day affairs. You take a long time. You're on your feet, and if you're working a trade show, you're on your feet like 15 hours a day. But at least you're fully immersed in it. And we used to always say, if you hold your event in Vegas, you're going to lose half the audience to Vegas, right? And you hold it there. You hold it in Phoenix. If it's an internal event, you don't want anybody to leave the venue because they'll die. Because it's the desert and everything is sprawled, and you hold it in Orlando when you said screw it, bring your kids, and like that used to be the way. But also the cities that have been holding conferences have changed. I've done more trips to Nashville, Denver, and Seattle than I had in like the previous 8 years combined leading up to all this. It was just like it shifts. There are shifts and there are changes with it, but Vegas, I really do think they'll come back strong. And so in the past, when things have gone bad, I wasn't sure, but this is different. This is not a recession. This is not Obama coming out and saying, don't go to Vegas. This is a worldwide event that we've never witnessed in our lifetime. And that people are itching. I know I'm itching, to go and to escape. And I don't know of a better place to escape than there.
Don't know a better place to escape than there. Scott, I'm gonna play a little. I got a little Tim Lassa trivia that I'm gonna give you. If you, I'm gonna ask you a question. If you can answer it correctly without any hints, I will bump my donation up 10%. If you miss on the first try, I'll give you a multiple choice. If you get it, then we'll make it 5%.
No pressure.
Now I don't know. I see this. When you're a podcaster, you don't know like. There's facts about me where I'm like, have I said that on the podcast before? Is that just something my friends know? Like, like listeners will come up, they'll be like, hey, this thing about you. And I'm like, how do you know that? And like, I was like, oh, I guess I did. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bit of a scar right there on my neck. How did I get that scar?
I got no clue.
Okay, I'll give you a little hint here. Not a hint. I'll give you multiple choice. Laceration from a car accident, knife wound, cancerous tumor removed, or gunshot.
Cancerous tumor.
That's exactly right.
Why am I cheering a cancerous tumor? This is so awkward right now.
Because I'm alive.
Yeah, but there we go. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Good job. Yes, it's very good. When I was 17 years old, I had a tumor removed from my neck. How about that? So that is. I need to write this down so I don't forget. 5% boost on my donations. Thanks to Mr. Scott Stratten. Scott. I got 7 Out. Have you ever listened to the 7 Out podcast? He can hear you. It's okay to say no, but have you ever listened? Have you ever listened to the 7L podcast?
Religiously? Let's often say religiously then. No, I have not. I don't listen to any podcasts right now. I haven't listened to anything. I've totally turned off everything out in the outside world pretty much and just focused on here and family and everything else. So
yeah,
but I did pop out of my cave to hang out with you.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Well, when it is time for you to listen to podcasts again, I highly recommend 7 Out with Big Joe and Vinny Chenz. I'm going to bring him here in a second. Scott, thank you so much for joining me today, man. It's thank you for coming out of your cave. Did you actually come out of a cave? It looks like you're still in it. It looks like
sorry. Yeah, I just turned the camera on in my cave. I haven't I'm still in the cave, man.
By the way, you are the king of looking at the camera. I struggle. I try so hard to be to remember to look in the camera when I'm talking to like an audience of people, and you never fail on that.
Well, the thing is too, I can't see you right now. You're over here.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you have
it's
this.
just like I have to. If I did it, I had to look over here. And now I see
Oh, look at
you,
that.
right? Yeah. So now it's like I just trust. If you flail, I can see it in my peripheral, but that's about it. But that's also that was a post-it note under the camera and says, "Look here," and just right, just drill it in your brain. Okay.
Bravo. Well, I'm gonna Scott. I'll let you go. Thank you again for your time, my man. And I hope to talk to you soon.
Hey, I really appreciate you, and I love that you're doing this. And I'm about to go make a donation right now.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Let's actually throw up the Arlington Food Assistance Center. That's the local charity that I'm donating to. So Las Vegas Rescue Mission is the Vegas charity. Arlington Food Assistance Center is the local charity. Scott, thank you for your time and thank you for your generosity, man.
Good talking to you, man. Take care.
See ya. Goodness, where we at? There he is.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. This is definitely my first time on live video, so I apologize if I'm a little less professional than Scott.
Well, that's fine. Scott is a professional. He is a professional. Maybe the sex toys in the background he probably should have put away, but that's pro tip number one. Get rid of the adult stuff out of the background.
I thought this was going to be audio only. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was really hoping that calling it a live stream event might have tipped you off that maybe we're doing a live stream. But
I'm not very smart. I don't know even what we're doing here. So yeah, you tell me. What can I do to help you?
You can talk to me for about 20 minutes. How about that?
That's easy. I can do that.
I think so. The only time that you and I have ever been in the same room with one another, I don't think I was familiar enough with your podcast to like approach you and introduce myself. But you and I were both at Gamblepalooza at Atlantic City. I remember you had your "Where is Fat Joe" or Big Joe? Fat Joe. Are you friends with Fat Joe? Where is Big Joe T-shirt? That's all I remember about you being there.
I remember sitting next to you in the sport book at Ocean, I think, at one point for a couple of minutes, and I think we both nice together. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. I'm used to your voice, not really your face, to be honest.
Same, actually.
Sorry if I let you down. I don't look like I sound. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not better looking.
Oh, well, it's okay. Apology accepted. But it, I'm not gonna lie. When people can't see it, but underneath, oh goodness, there we go. Underneath my screen here, there's like go ahead. Can you see it? Can you see it, Vinny? Underneath my screen here, they're like when people come into like the green room, I see them pop up, and I was like, oh my goodness, Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems just walked in.
Yeah, I've heard Adam Sandler when I was growing up. Also, if you're familiar with Boy Meets World, a couple people used to call me Ben Savage as well. But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Okay, I can kind of see that. With the goatee and with the beard, I'm gonna go with Adam Sandler. Yeah. You just got back from you just got done with a Vegas trip that involved a newbie, or you're about to do that. Which I can't remember.
So the newbie would be Danny Ocean. That's going to come up in September. But I did just.
That's still on it. Okay.
I was in Vegas for the Resorts World opening and for some golf. Only a couple days after it looks like most of you guys were there. So I missed you guys by a few days, but did get to Resorts World.
Okay. By the way, people, what am I drinking? This is actually, this is not very exciting. This is kombucha. This is guava kombucha.
Okay.
Since this is going to be like 2.5 hours, I was like, I can't start drinking at the front of it. I'll be sloppy at the end of it. So it's non-alcoholic beverages from here until the end of the stream. Where'd it go?
I was very interested in what you and Scott were talking about. I mean, you guys got a little serious there, maybe not so much gambling, but he kind of stepped in my arena when it comes to virtual kind of events, because that's kind of what I do for a living for the most part. So that was interesting. Yeah.
Well, Scott's a great resource on that because he's a professional keynote speaker, and so we put
on like virtual hiring events is the best way to put it. So, more about companies coming, attracting candidates, and kind of putting on a show for them.
Okay.
But anyway, just wanted to say I'm familiar with that.
Very good. Well, Turbulence 2 says it's always weird putting face to these voices. I wish I should have gotten this photo ready, but Vinny, you didn't know this, but back when I first joined the community was like back in early 2018, and the first event that anybody ever saw me at was Gamblepalooza at Foxwoods up in Connecticut. And that was at the tail end of what I call the year of the wildling, when I had a beard down to here and I had like this mane of hair. And so like everybody, I can see Eric smiling because like everybody met. I remember Eric's first words to me were like, "You're not what I expected." Like he made some comment of like clearly
you were taller than I thought, Tim, whatever that means. I remember
that's what it was.
I remember thinking, oh man, Tim's tall.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm not very tall at all. I'm pretty short, so everyone's taller than me. But I remember thinking you were taller than I would have thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I introduced myself to the world or to this community first when I had like all of this hair all around my face and my head and stuff, and it was interesting that people were like, oh, that's what the better life looks like. That's not what we were expecting. Okay, you are planning. The reason why I wanted to ask you this is because I don't know if you know, but Mr. Carl Schlegel is on his way to Las Vegas, Nevada for the first time later this year.
Yeah, very excited for Carl. Very excited.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, what are some things? So I struggle with this a little bit, but like, what are some things that you would recommend to a newbie? Not someone you're going with, not like, okay, let me show you Vegas, but someone like Carl's like, hey, I'm going to Vegas, and all they get is your word, and that's it. You can't show them around, help them, or anything. What are you telling a newbie on their first time to Vegas?
So that's a great question. We actually talked about that most recently because I did have a list of things that Danny Ocean wanted to do and some things that we recommended he do for the first time going to Vegas. So,
by the way, I listened to that episode. I actually listened to your podcast. I'm asking you here for that. You're like, oh, we've actually talked about this, Tim. I know, Vinny. I know.
Yeah,
I listened to your show. Believe it or not, I'm a big fan.
He's very excited. His list is growing and being taken away. But I do think that the most important thing, and I think most people are kind of shocked about how big Vegas and the Strip really is, because people are used to going to maybe one casino, and the local casino is much smaller. Maybe Atlantic City, where obviously it's a little more spaced out, not exactly high class. And then suddenly you get to Vegas, and I think you're overwhelmed by how big it is. So I think the most important thing anyone can do for the first time is to really take it in and walk the Strip. Really kind of say, oh, you know what? I'm going to spend the time walking half the Strip or the whole Strip today. Really kind of taking in the Bellagio fountains, really going into each of the resorts and really kind of seeing the theme, how it goes from Luxor and Excalibur and how it actually gets to Wynn, now Resorts World on the other end. How there's so many different types of casinos, and find your Vegas is what I always like to say, because everyone's Vegas is a little bit different. Some people love Treasure Island and some people won't step foot in it. So I think it's important to kind of see what Vegas has to offer, really walk through every casino and pick what you want for the future.
So walking the Strip is I'm torn on recommending walking the Strip, only because walking the Strip for someone who's never been to Vegas, walking the Strip isn't what they think it is.
Overwhelming.
Right? We've been to Vegas. We know it takes a lot of walking upstairs, going up escalators, crossing the street. I think a lot of people, when they think walking the Strip, I think they just think street level sidewalk. Just look at in like.
Big Joe thought. I mean, maybe he told me the first thing that shocked him was he thought it was just maybe one street across the street, nice and easy. It wasn't a whole highway pretty much you had to go across. But that is why I said, half the Strip one day, maybe half the Strip the other day, because I understand it's not for everyone, especially in the heat that I just came out of in Vegas. It was like 1:15. So,
what show are you telling a newbie and just in a vacuum? Don't think too hard on like who's going, whatever. But just in a vacuum, absent. Yeah, same.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be beat anytime soon. I would like it. I do feel like there needs to be a overhaul in the entertainment for Vegas. These Cirque shows, even though I love them, have been around forever. And I think that we need something new. So at least, the productions that do Absinthe, they're trying the Atomic Saloon and other types, Opium. They're trying to do these other types of smaller events, which I appreciate. I just wish there was more of that for people to be able to witness.
By the way, I think here we go.
Yeah.
There it is. That was me.
Whoa.
That's me. That's me in the middle at Foxwoods.
Wow. Okay.
Bogan there to the right, Mark DeVol to my to the left on the left side there. What you're seeing that's Foxwoods in the background, right? And so we had just got doing the zip line down from the tower down to the ground. But yeah, that is what
you are a man, Tim. That's for sure.
I mean, that was a serious beard. I almost never trimmed that beard. It just grew.
Yeah, but you're into sports. I'm in the military. You got that beard that I can't grow. So yeah, a little bit more of a man than I am, Tim. I'm gonna give you that for sure.
I am a bit of a man's man. That's true.
You are.
Yeah, thank you. Ride a motorcycle too. Did I get listed?
That's definitely in the category. I do none of those things. I can't grow a very long beard. I have not been in the military, and I will not get on a motorcycle. So you got me in all those categories.
Oh my goodness. Very good. What about food? Like, there's a Oh, sorry. Actually, let me hone that down a little bit. Are you telling a newbie to go to a buffet for the sake of having? Because that's one thing a lot of newbies ask me, like, oh, like, should I try a buffet? Like, are you telling them to? And if so, which one are you sending them to?
Food obviously is a very passionate category for me, more than probably even gambling. So I understand everyone has different palates and likes different types of food, but I do think a buffet, if you're from a place that only has the old country buffet in their town or a Chinese buffet in their town, I think it is important to go to a buffet in Vegas. I personally love Wicked Spoon. I like the concept at Cosmopolitan. But honestly, if you haven't really been to many buffets, just go to any of them at the Wynn, Bacchanal Buffet at Caesar. Excuse me. Yeah. There's plenty of different buffets to choose from. And I do recommend it. Because I think when people think buffet, they think real low quality food, which Vegas buffets for the most part offer much high quality food. They think of, Vegas Vacation where you get a little bit of the yellow, a little bit of the blue, that kind of thing. And it's not
the yellow.
So
no, I'm not going cheap on me here.
Yeah, I think it's important, and understand you'll be paying up for a buffet, maybe $50, $60, but it's understand it's definitely worth it as
well. Are you telling them to go downtown at all?
Yes.
For anything? You are telling. Okay.
Some of the people I hang out with love downtown. Some of them won't step foot there. I try to make a point of going downtown every trip. I'm not the type of person that loves crowds and drunk loudness. It's not me, but I do enjoy people watching downtown. I think it's important to see downtown and be able to compare and contrast it to what Vegas is really now on the Strip. So I love downtown, but I won't stay downtown, if that makes sense. Even with Circa, I still won't stay downtown, but I'll visit.
Yeah. Do you think is there like I'm thinking like the Neon Museum, the Mob Museum. Is there a non-casino establishment that you send them to? Like, hey, what? Because this is always, people are like, oh, I want to like see, like, the first time, I think it's casino properties and nothing else, right? Like on your first time to Vegas, like just take in all of the extravagant casino properties. Don't worry about all of the extras. You can go see that stuff the next time you're there. But the more people listen to people discuss Vegas, the more they hear these sort of one-offs here and there. Should I see this? Or I'd love to go see Red Rock Canyon. You don't have time for all that, to be honest. Like,
for 3 days, you want to get in when you can. So, I have not done the Mob Museum. I'm not very interested necessarily. I did enjoy the Neon Museum, and if you do have like an interest in the history of Vegas and some of the older, casino signs that are there, I think that was interesting. But still, not something I would tell people to ever do on the first trip. I think the first trip, even beyond gambling, it's supposed to be really just taking in Vegas. I do think it's important to see your casinos and see where you want to stay in the future. I think you need to go downtown, go to a couple of nice restaurants, whether it be buffets or not. Go see some shows. Definitely. I mean, this kind of entertainment I take for granted being from New York, right? You get good entertainment in New York, good shows in New York. But you're in the middle of the country. You're not seeing something like or COD. Well, you're not seeing these types of things. So I think it's important to do that. But if you listen to my podcast, I would also say go to a gentleman's club or club too, because that's part of Vegas. And I think whether you're a couple or a single man, I think you can enjoy yourself there as well.
All right. So, okay, I have never been to a gentleman's club in Las Vegas. I am not opposed to going to one. I have been to gentlemen's clubs in a number of different cities, and those experiences were good enough that I'm not sure if Las Vegas really needs to compete. But I've been to, Lithuania, Ukraine, Peru. Like, I've been in a bunch of different strip clubs. But what you just said, the gentlemen's clubs there in Vegas, it is sort of part of the Vegas experience in a way, and I'm genuinely curious of what that looks like as a married man who wants to go just to sort of see what it's like. My expectations are low because I've had enough strip club experiences to satisfy a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Where should I go, and when or why?
For hours. So this is good. So because you've been to these types of establishments overseas, I'll say that the menu, or I will say, what is offered at those types of places might be different at the Las Vegas casinos. So the caliber of woman might be much higher in a Vegas area, and you'll probably be spending a lot more money at a gentleman's club in Vegas. But again, I think it's a little bit less that could be expected. I do think that you'll see a lot of couples, men with their wives, men with their girlfriends, men with ladies of the night, going to these strip clubs. I think Sapphires is one of my favorite. It's the largest in Vegas. It's basically a huge airplane hangar. I think you'll feel very comfortable there. You're not going to get harassed by, because a lot of people don't want to go to strip clubs because they feel awkward, which I understand some people do. And they don't want to keep saying no to girls asking for dances and things like that. So Sapphire is pretty good because it's so wide open. Whereas somewhere like Crazy Horse used to be, or like Spearmint Rhino, which a lot of people hear about, that's so tight, you're going to feel overwhelmed by it, I think. And I don't think it's a great place to start. So my opinion would be to check out something like Sapphire, even Larry Flint's Hustler Club. Those have great assortment of food and alcohol. However, if you want a full nude strip club, Little Darlings is my favorite. They don't serve alcohol, so they're saying, yeah.
Okay. One of my favorite things about the strip club that I went to in Kiev, Ukraine, was the women left you alone completely. Like, if you wanted a woman to join you, you would ask someone, and they would like you would let them know. They left you, and that was one of my favorite things about that club, is you could just be there and enjoy it without having to do the whole constant.
Did you go to Macau?
No.
Damn, I forget. I apologize.
No, I've not been to Macau.
So yeah, similar to something like that. If you went to those kind of establishments, it's like they kind of stay on the walls. You can kind of pick who you want to see when you want to see them, kind of thing. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, you will get harassed in a Vegas strip club, even the smallest of them. You will, for sure. Especially now, where they probably have been closed up for the past few months and are slowly getting back to things.
Okay. Vinny, it's been a pleasure talking to you here, and I'm really glad that you stumbled your way into being able to figure this out when you had no idea that we were doing. I do want you to answer this question before we let you go. Top 3 comfort food places in Vegas.
Okay, one of them I'm going to say is something new that I just tried this last trip, which I was surprised. But was it David Chang? He's at the restaurant. So there's a place called Moon's Landing that opened up in the Palazzo. Now, if you are familiar with like White Castle, which I'm sure most people are, or depend on where you are in the country, maybe Crystal Burger, I think it's called, or Crystals, something like that. But Moon Landing is like a higher end. If you ever had like the Hawaiian rolls before, it's a delicious little burger on Hawaiian rolls. They put hash browns on it. They have a fried chicken sandwich. It's like a higher end White Castle, and it's kind of tucked away in the Palazzo. So that's one of my, I'll add that to the top of the list. I enjoyed that a lot. Stevie Mandime actually introduced me to it this trip, and this first time I had it. So that'll be first. 2, I think you need to go to the Cosmo food court and get the Hattie B's chicken sandwich. There's a comfort food for you. Fried chicken sandwich or hot fried chicken sandwich. If you're from Nashville, maybe you've had Hattie B's before, but one of the many amazing things in the Cosmo food court is the Hattie B's chicken sandwich. So that would be 2. And then one of my favorite restaurants, which is comfort food, is Yardbird in Venetian. If someone has not tried that, I highly recommend it. It's Southern comfort food. So there you go. Yardbird would be up on the list. But I'll just kind of throw in a consolation, because I always stay at Cosmo Aria for the most part. I think that Carbone is a must for a lot of people. If you're in Aria, if you want some good Italian food, I'll throw that out there as well. Mm-hmm.
Carbone, a favorite of a number of my friends that are both Vegas frequents and Vegas locals.
You mentioned a place I think I went to too. Was it 8 East that you mentioned somewhere?
Yeah, 8 East and Circa. No, you haven't been there.
This trip as well. Yeah. Okay.
You did. You did go there.
Yep. We went down just to actually see it. So it was. I didn't realize it was as casual as it was. I was expecting it to be more of a not fine dining, but it was more casual than I thought, like a noodle bar type atmosphere. But the food was delicious. So I took that recommendation from you guys.
Very good. Well, before I let you go, I have a very random trivia question about Tim Lawson, since it is my birthday. I don't know if you knew this. Today is my birthday. That is. Thank you.
I did not.
I have a random trivia question here for you. If you guess it right on the first try without any hints or chances, I will up my the donation that I'm making to the charities today by 10%. If you get the question right, if you don't get that right and then you get it right after giving a multiple choice, we'll make it 5%. So
I don't know. Let's see.
Now this is a this will really this is almost unfair, because this is going to make it very clear whether or not you listen to the podcast or not. But
no, it's not. Okay, go ahead.
I know it's not. I know it's not fair. What is my dog's name?
No, that's not. That's not. I don't know your dog's name. I definitely don't know your dog's. I do listen to your podcast, and I don't know your dog's name. That's not fair. What is your dog's name? Is it something gambling related, Tim?
It is not.
Okay, I don't know what that. I'm not. I was gonna guess.
I was gonna see. I was waiting to see if someone was gonna drop it in the comments to see if someone could save you. But all right, here's a multiple choice. If you get it right on the multiple choice, you can still get 5% added to the donation amount here. Is it Jordy, Wilson, Driver, or Cantor?
Okay, I'm gonna say it's Driver or Cantor. Right. Okay, I'm good there. By your body language, I'm gonna say yes. I'm right with those. Okay, Driver or Cantor. Oh, Driver.
It is Driver.
Yeah!
The dog's name. My dog's name is Driver, named after longtime Green Bay Packer Donald Driver.
I was solely my poker ability right there and to read you, because I'm telling you right now, I had no idea what that was. I'm so happy I got it right. Give that.
Oh, that's a really great point. It is if you bet on sports. It is technically a betting reference if you bet on sports, because oddly enough, even though it's my wife's dog, she's the one that named him Driver, but I thought it was appropriate because in the one and only Super Bowl that Aaron Rodgers has won, I actually bet on Donald Driver for an anytime touchdown, and that cashed. So I guess Driver is in a way. Tim's poker face is terrible. I mean, it's not like I was really trying to hide it. Like, oh, I don't want him to possibly get this right, and I have to donate more to charity.
Will you do this again, Tim? Because I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would.
Yes, I intend on doing this once a quarter. So we will see you probably in October. Yep.
Okay. And where can I get like a book on Tim Lawson trivia so I make sure I get it right next time?
The trivia will be different. The trivia will be different next time, since this time it's my birthday, which is why it's a Tim Lawson trivia. So, anyhow, let's. I'll just bring him in. As I pass you guys along, I'll bring him in, Mr. Mark DeVol, and you can bet on that.
Hi. Oh, can you hear me? Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Tim?
How are you?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. I think we can hear you. All right, Vinny, I'm gonna let you go, buddy. Thanks for joining us, pal.
Bye, guys.
Take care, bud. Mark DeVol from You Can Bet on That, sir. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you? Happy birthday. Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time to hang out with me here.
No problem.
First of all, how is Dr. Mike? I know you guys. I know he was a little under the weather. This week.
He's fine. We recorded last night. I'm going to drop the episode hopefully later today once I'm done editing it. But when he came overnight, he was completely feeling fine. He said he had some stomach issues. His wife and daughters are out of town, so maybe he hasn't been eating that well. But he's doing okay.
So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today, I had someone. I mean, Vinny, Chenz, and I just talked about sending someone going to Vegas for the first time, right. And a lot of times when we answer that question, we answer within this community, and there's like this assumption that the person gambles, right?
Yeah.
Well, just recently I had someone. Message me saying they're going to Vegas. And for the first time, they want to gamble. So they've been to Vegas before, but this time they want to gamble. They're not a gambler otherwise. Okay. And I didn't really know what. Like I told him, like I recommended they stick with any game that they're familiar with. He said he was familiar with blackjack. And then I was like, okay, maybe try roulette because it's a little more straightforward. But like, what gambling advice would you give to someone if you're giving it to them via Messenger? And they're going to Vegas for the first time. They're going to Vegas, and this will be the first time that they gamble.
Okay, well, I guess one of the first things I'd say is go downtown. Especially now, when things aren't quite back to normal, the Strip just isn't that great a gambling value. And you might have trouble finding lower limits. Shoot, you were talking about how when you went for 360 Vegas Vacation 10, it took you guys forever to find a reasonable, limit at a craps
3
table,
hours.
right?
It was horrible.
Yeah. So, now I realize that might not be that easy if they're staying on the Strip. Maybe they just plan to stay on the Strip and they haven't made plans to go anywhere else. But that's the first thing I would say is don't even talk about what games you should play. Go downtown because you're going to find a better value for your gambling dollar.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. I don't know how oh, you know what I did is he said he was staying at Treasure Island. So I went to I could never remember his name. John something. The guy that does the he does the surveys on the games.
Yeah, is it Vegas Advantage? Is that who it is on Twitter? Yeah,
yes, Vegas Advantage. I went to his website and found Treasure Island, sent it to my friend, and I was like, okay, like here are the tables you should be specifically looking for. Like if you go, it looks like there's a 3-2 table. Only play at the 3-2 tables in blackjack, right? Like stuff like that. And that seemed to work. I have not gotten a message from him since he's been in Vegas, so who knows how good it's going for him down there. But that was the advice I was able to give.
Yeah, and Treasure Island might be one of the better places on the Strip for rollers. At least it was pre-pandemic, and maybe it still is now. Some of the games are pretty good, like you said, 3-2, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's good advice. Maybe say like Ellis Island, go play there. That's not too far off Strip, right? And you can find some good limits there. But that's if somebody they've been to Vegas, so we don't need to say anything else other than just gambling. Yeah, maybe get away from the Strip. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, in just a few days, you and I will record another episode of our Better Viewing saga. I'll call it a saga. Yep. We're going over Lay the Favorite and California Split. I've seen Lay the Favorite. I've not seen California Split. We're doing this based off of requests that we got from listeners. It'll be interesting to do Lay the Favorite because it has been widely accepted as not very good.
Right.
And I don't know. I need to see if I can find anywhere where he speaks about it. But I'm really curious about what Dink thinks about the film, knowing that I wonder like where the cognitive dissonance is of like this is a movie about me, but also the community I am all kind of agree that it's not that great of a movie.
Right. It'll be tough. Now, Bruce Willis plays him in the film, so, maybe he'll have something to say about that. I guess, if you said, who's going to play me in the film? They said Bruce Willis. You'd think, oh, great. I mean, he's a big movie star, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to you about it. I am going to watch it again. I've seen it also. I'm going to watch it again before we talk next week. Now, I read the book before I originally saw the movie, and that can make a difference. I know for me, I don't read that many books, but when I do read a book and then go see a movie based on the book, I tend to enjoy it more than the public does or the critical reception. And I think that was the case with Lay the Favorite too. I didn't get the sense that it was quite as bad as I think the general public sees. It is based on a true story. So yeah, I'm looking forward to discussing that with you.
Okay. Mark, if you will pardon me, I'm going to bring in Mr. Eric Rosenthal back into our stream here. One thing, Mark, that I did it.
All right, there he is.
Horrible planning on my part. I did not build in a potty break here on my little stream, so I am going to step away for just 2 minutes. You and Mr. Rosenthal can, I don't know, maybe Eric can talk. Eric's very upset that he got a soccer question and did not get a Tim Lawson question like the other two people did. But I will leave you to your pleasantries. I'll be back in just 2 minutes.
I would have nailed the other question. I think we should bump up his donation just based on that.
Yeah. Really.
What's going on, Mark?
Okay, now good. Hey, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I know. Yeah, are we just gonna rag on Tim that he's gone? I guess we could do that. Just look at.
And I had no idea we were doing this, and and as we're ragging on him in true Tim fashion, I'm going to bring in Eric Rosenthal. Great.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Harris, Southern California.
All right, let's do it. It's still here. It's still where we go every week. A lot of people are wearing masks. I don't know if this is the case at local casinos, but we keep hearing that masks are basically gone from Las Vegas. You hear things like, maybe 5% of people are wearing them. And I'll tell you, at Harris, Southern California, it's about 50%. I'd say it's about 50% of people are still wearing masks, which I guess I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. But I wonder if that's kind of a trend also at some other local casinos. I don't know. We did hear a report from Harris Cherokee. Is that considered a local casino where like nobody was wearing masks? So I don't know. Have you had any experience one way or the other?
So I moved to Florida in the last year, and Florida masks. I mean, it's like COVID never happened in Florida.
Yeah.
So that's tough to compare to California, right? I think if you look at blue states versus red states, you're gonna see a rather large difference there. But most of the casinos that I have been to, there are very few masks being worn. Really few.
All right. Yeah. So Tim, we were just talking about masks.
Oh,
and
okay.
If you still see them in casinos, and I was saying that at least in Harris, Southern California, we still see quite a few masks still.
I was just at MGM National Harbor a couple hours ago, and I think maybe a quarter of the people are wearing masks. Yeah, I'd say that's about it. I think that's about right. About a quarter of the people are wearing masks. I mean, I live in the DC area where people are probably a little more willing to wear masks where they don't need to, or if they don't have to, however you want to interpret that. It's about my grocery store was the last thing to sort of break on the masks wearing. Like even well after other places were dropping masks, even when it dropped as mask mandate, most people were still wearing a mask inside the grocery store. But even that has gone.
Right.
Carl Schlegel says it's about a third of people wearing masks. Carl is curious, and if Dr. Mike's dad has ventured back into a casino yet.
No, not really. He did go out for birthday, which was back in November, and I think I posted a video of him there. He had on a mask, but really, no. It used to be he would go with us every week, and I don't think he's been to a casino this year yet. If he has, it hasn't been with us. There is a casino that's relatively close to his house, Mike's dad's house, that maybe he has gone to separate from us, but no, he's just not venturing back, not yet.
Okay.
I can tell you from Atlantic City as well, we're way less than maybe 10%, and I think I'm being generous at 10%.
Wow. I mean, when I was we were in Vegas. I mean, I joked. I was at a craps table with Bogan. I was like, it's really nice to be uncomfortably close to you again at a craps table. By the way, if everybody's just stumbling across this, hey, what is this nonsense? Little birthday brand growth charity support event here. Got Mark DeVol and Eric Rosenthal joining me. I am at the Better Life, and football bet is life because Eric, I had to separate the soccer talk. People, I appreciate it. Yeah, there's plenty of people were like, hey, a little too much of the soccer talk. So
I want to crap out of my timeline. Thank you.
It did get to a point where like half of my stuff was non-soccer stuff and the other half of the stuff was soccer stuff, and I was like, this is probably not balanced well enough considering the audience side. But those are today going into tomorrow morning. So when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll do the final tally. All new follows that I have will on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, $1 towards charities, and then every viewer here, $2 to charity. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Mark DeVol, I'm sure you get people asking you all the time. I ask you every time we do one of these. You're probably sick of me asking you, but like, is Vegas in your future? Do you think, are we going to see Mark and Dr. Mike in Vegas? Do you think before the end of the year?
Yeah, I think we're seriously looking at that last weekend in October. That's what we've been talking about. So whatever those dates are, and we're thinking maybe like a Friday through Monday. So pencil that in. And I'm going to see Mike tomorrow, and we'll discuss this a little bit more so he can kind of block off his schedule. But that's what we're looking at, like last weekend in October.
So last weekend of October is technically Halloween. I'm assuming you're talking about the weekend before that, the 22nd through the 25th.
All right, yeah. Let me pull up the little calendar here. I know what I'm talking about here. Yes, sure. Sorry. So okay, you're right. The second to last week. So second through the 25th. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Very good. Are you? do you think, assuming nothing regresses, assuming the pandemic continues to progress in the way that it is, of people getting vaccinated, things opening back up, things are being relaxed, do you think if we had a meetup on this side of the Mississippi next spring that you guys would be available and willing to join us?
Yes, and in fact, Mississippi Rob, I think it was just yesterday on Twitter, was saying, hey, is anybody up for Biloxi in March and April? And we'd definitely be up for that.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because Eric, as you and I discussed, I think earlier this year, I was talking to you about, like, you know, if you just wanted to book a casino trip with nothing else nothing else really mattering, you admitted that Biloxi would be your go-to.
It's a game changer. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. And I thought the same thing. Like, you know, when there's a community meetup, Vegas is awesome. When there's another reason to be in Vegas, Vegas is awesome. But if I legitimately was just like, okay, it's a weekend for myself in a place where I can gamble, I'm probably going to go to Biloxi.
If I was going by myself, there's no doubt in my mind Biloxi would be the choice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mark, what do you I was trying to find a better way to say this joke, but I'm just who do you think's going to get a royal before? Who do you think has a better chance of getting a royal? You or Dr. Mike? Do you guys have? Is it equal opportunity or?
Oh yeah, no,
okay.
It's me. I'm going to get the royal first. Yeah, he's Snake. He knows it. I know it. Yeah, it's going to be me.
Didn't get a royal though? It was just on.
Well, yeah, you know that's true. So when I was playing some free play that was actually Mike's dad's free play, I was the one playing it. I did hit a royal. It was like a 25-cent $1,000 royal. So. You know, done it, but it wasn't, you know, my own money.
It wasn't your money, but
I mean, okay. All right, well, that's fine. However you want to interpret it. So if you're going strictly by that, that's proof that, you know, I've gotten a royal and Mike hasn't. I just haven't collected the money for one.
Same. I've gotten one royal flush, and it was on a video poker trainer. It's the only time I've ever seen a royal flush come across the screen.
I think maybe once or twice I've gotten it on my phone. Yeah, when I've been practicing.
Yeah. Lenny Thompson, curious, any difference in the house advantage between playing one hand of $100 to two hands of $50 in Pai Gow poker? What about ratings for comps to the situation? No, I don't think there's definitely not a difference in house advantage, and I can't imagine, Eric, you probably know better than I do. Is there any difference in spreading your bets than versus play? Like it's what you have on the table, right? It's how much
on the table.
Yeah. Pai Gow,
you know,
poker,
and it's gonna. I mean, it's the kind of question too where, you know, you're not going to be rated on a single $100 hand or two $50 hands. They're going to watch you over a period of time. Now, you know, when you first sit down at the table and the pit boss is saying, you know, oh, good luck, sir. If you have a $100 bet out there, well, that's, you know, better than starting with a $50 bet if that's what you're going to do. But it's going to be, you know, your average bet over time. So you can't really look at single bets as, you know, what's going to get me a better rating. You know, of course, $100 hand, if you're playing $100 every hand, then you're going to get a better rating than playing $50 every hand, but it's really over a period of time. But I agree with you guys. Yeah, there's no difference in the house advantage or EV even. Yeah. Now, variance is going to be higher for, you know, if you're just playing one hand, of course, but otherwise, no.
I was talking about, I talked about Pai Gow poker this week in my Patreon short episodes, and I was talking about Face Up, and it still kind of amazes me that the casino introduced and embraced a game that was a better game for its players. And I'm curious from both of your perspectives, do you think this was the casino knowing, hey, we can get this game going, this game will be more efficient, so we're willing to take the, or do you think they're just like the average player doesn't know? Like, I don't know. Like, why do you think they were willing to I mean, I see it everywhere now. Like Face Up is the Pai Gow game. It used to be this casino might have it, that casino might have it. Now every casino I go to, Face Up is the Pai Gow game offered. How did a game after seeing 000 plague the freaking strip? How did Face Up, the better alternative of Pai Gow, get embraced so quickly and put on every casino floor?
Because people play it. They get action. People who would not know how to play Pai Gow poker sit down. You know, I'm going to try to choose my words carefully here. It used to be if I would sit down at a Pai Gow poker table, I was likely the only Caucasian player. That was very frequently true. face-up pie gow, everybody plays. You get full tables of it. So even if they're giving back a little bit of the house edge, there's volume that they weren't having before. And it can be, usually you would see 1 or 2 pie gow poker tables in a non-Asian centered casino. Just about every casino I've been to has multiple face-up tables, and they're full.
Yeah. I would add too, and I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I'm guessing that it'd probably be a faster game as well. Number one, you're not collecting commission, so that certainly makes things faster. Mm-hmm. Plus, you don't have players that are pondering what they're going to do. We've all been at a pie gow table where a player takes a long time trying to decide what to do, and sometimes I do too. I'm trying to decide which way to go. With face up, it doesn't matter. You just set it and you're done. Again, I don't have any evidence to back that up, but that also could be the case.
Yeah. It's just a more efficient game in a lot of ways. Yeah, I see Michael Trager is in the green room. Michael, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, all right, Michael's ready to go. We'll get him in here soon. Eric, I know you're very upset that you got a soccer question and not a Tim Lawson question. So I am going to ask you a very obscure question that is somewhat soccer and somewhat Tim Lawson to see if you can get it. And I will still put the 20% bonus on the line for this.
All right, take 2.
In my podcasting career, and there actually could be a couple answers to this. And so I'll say the best answer will get 20%, an okay answer will get 10%. In my podcasting career, which I think spans about 800 plus episodes by this point, I have interviewed someone who have I interviewed that has the closest relation, either personally or professionally, to Megan Rapinoe?
You want the player's name?
I want the person's name.
The person.
So I have interviewed a person in my podcasting career who is closely affiliated to Megan Rapinoe, either personally or professionally. If you can tell me who that person is, there's a few of them. There's a few you could do here. If you get the perfect answer, I'll make it. I'll give it a good old bonus.
You have interviewed me, and I am relatively close to Megan Rapinoe, because if you Google my name and Megan Rapinoe, there will be a few things that come up. There's numerous conversations about Megan Rapinoe on this show and actually off air, and I think I qualify for an envy bonus. And there should be.
I'll give you a 5%. That was a clever way of doing that. I'll give you a 5% envy on that. The answer we were looking for was Sue Bird, who is Megan Rapinoe's wife. I interviewed on a podcast I once did called Fuel for Warriors. Any other soccer player would have been acceptable as well. And I've interviewed
any other soccer player would have been acceptable
that I've interviewed.
I'll take my 5%.
Yeah, you can get your 5%. But yes, Sue Bird, one of the cooler interviews that I've ever done in my career. So, I told when I interviewed her, I was like, oh my, it's amazing to, or it was like, I asked her, what does it feel like to be a legend in your sport? And she's like, that just means I'm old. Very cool. All right, Mark DeVol. I have a little Tim Lawson trivia we'll give you as well. Okay. I need a balance between like should it be easy? Should it be should it be well informed? I struggle here. Let's oh man.
You don't even have it prepared? You're just making one up?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. I had one and then I didn't like it, and then I was like, maybe I might. I don't know. I actually don't. I have to admit, I had one, and then I did, and then I realized that it was a flawed question, and then and now I'm stuck. I look like a fool. I have egg on my face.
I think you fouled your hand, and that's another 5% towards.
I agree. It is another 5%. I fouled my hand. I had the Okay, I can ask this question, but I can't do the way that I have because it's flawed in the way of the open-ended question than the multiple choice. So I will just have to do multiple choice. Right. Which one of the I almost messed up the question. There we go. In which one of these countries that I have visited have I not gambled in? And which one of these countries that Brazil, Belgium, France, Lithuania.
Whoa. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say France. No, no, I take that back because I think we talked about a casino that you played there. Sorry. I'll say Brazil. Brazil.
It is
Yeah,
Brazil.
final answer.
Good job.
Phew.
It is Brazil. Another 10%. Man, I am these percentages are creeping up there. I was trying to find a way to make it an open-ended question, but I was having a hard time finding the right wording that wouldn't confuse the answer, so that's why I got stuck there. But yes, Brazil. I tried finding a poker game and I couldn't find one. I was there for like a week and I still couldn't find like a poker game. But I played at a. You're right to remember me telling a story how I played at a gambling parlor on the Champs-Élysées in Paris when I was there.
What was the name of that?
The Aviation Club.
Yes, Aviation Club. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, good. Yeah, good.
Yep. And then there was a casino in Lithuania that I played in, and then Belgium and Brussels. I played at a spot in Brussels. So, very good. All right. Well, I appreciate you tolerating. I was like, here's the like. As I was thinking, I was like, wait, that doesn't like the way that's worded. It's going to confuse everybody. So I was going to try to think of all the places that I've spoken about on the podcast. I was like, wait, I can't think of. I don't even remember all the places I've talked about on the podcast.
All right.
Okay.
Here. I'll tell you what. Okay, so Tim and Eric, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. And I will make an additional donation as well. Okay. What should I do? I'll do like $50 to each of your charities.
Each of the charities? Okay.
If either one of you can give me the last name of either Tim or Eric from the very famous Tim and Eric awesome show, great job on Adult Swim. Tim or Eric, their last names. Either one. Shameful.
Can't do it. I can't do it. There's one program I watch in Adult Swim, and I can tell you that. What about Smith? Is it because or Sanchez?
It's not Smith. No, it's not that. And I see Eric typing on his.
I'm Googling. You didn't say no Googling.
Tim Heidecker. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, $50 to each one.
Very good.
It's so funny because I would say Tim and Eric. I'm going to listen to Tim and Eric, and my son would say, "What? Tim and Eric?" And it's not that Tim and Eric.
Okay. I have left Mr. Trager sitting in the green room for just a little too long. That's my fault. I messed up my own question, and I had to do an impromptu one for Eric because he felt left out of the Tim Lawson trivia. So, fellas, it was good talking to you both. I'm gonna bring in Vito's already in here too. It is too crowded in here. Goodness. Vito was like, "Hey, as late as possible." Look how early he is.
As late as possible. Please put me on at the end.
Yeah. Mark, I'll talk to you on Tuesday. We go over our movies. Eric, I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Good to see you, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark was saying goodbye to Eric there, everybody. I just cut that off. All right. Let's bring him in from TravelZork, Mr. Michael Trager. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Vito's just gonna have to sit in his Vito's setup looks like he's a gamer on Twitch.
This is to Vito. I've got my martini ready.
Oh, good. A martini for Vito. Very good. All right, Michael Trager, something I want to talk to you about here. Better get Vito on before he has too many scotches. I think that might be a lost cause already. Who knows? One of the things I have circled on the calendar as far as Vegas trips go is in December you are doing a little Zork Fest Light down at the Plaza. What can we talk about here? What did I already spill the beans on some of it? I don't even know. But what can we discuss here?
What we could discuss here that we're not sure how light or how heavy it's going to be.
Okay.
but right now, as long as I can get some things finalized, it's looking like we will be able to have a pretty good 1.5 day event at what will most likely be the Plaza, because they've been very supportive of the idea. But this is, I guess, the light part, or maybe the more fun part, is that this is going to mix a lot more like gambling and social and less on the educational side. And then I have to credit you and Adam coming up with a great idea to interject a podcaster show sort of in the middle of the Zorkfest like educational part on Saturday with the concept of podcaster potluck. So hopefully we'll be able to pull all that together. But I really actually love the idea of just sort of having all this stuff going on at once. Also slot polls. I'm hoping for a private craps table, gambling at lunch, much more community gambling oriented than we've done before, because I think we sort of need a community event. And one of the people that's going to be there is Matt Bridger from the UK, helping with all the slot polls and everything. So that could be really cool. Of course, everyone's very tense because you can't travel from the UK yet to the United States. So that's been a little bit of touch and go. And that was part of the reason why we tried to plan it for the last possible weekend in Vegas that wasn't Christmas or New Year's. So it's all targeted around the 18th, starting on Friday night, the 17th and 18th. It's always easy for me to remember 18 because 18 is a lucky number, and that's why you're double 18. So that's like really lucky.
Oh yeah,
birthday. It's double high.
Very good.
Yeah, so I can remember the day. So I'm hoping I'll be able to announce this soon, but there are just some details that have to be worked out. So I guess it's, as I said to someone the other day, you can't really announce things officially until you can announce things officially. I know that sounds
right,
sort of strange,
right.
But that's so that's where we are, and it's really just to have a really fun, a fun, heavily gambling focused social weekend. One of the things I've asked for, and this is part of why the Plaza has been so supportive, is we would like to do a challenge for that weekend, which is going to be like a gambling tier point challenge. So basically to see, there's going to be prizes like first prize to fifth prize. And we're going to have like first class airfare and things like that for whoever gets the most tier points for the weekend. And we're not just going to do like first through fifth prize. We'll also have other prizes like for 50th or for 35th, so that you don't feel like, oh, well, I'm not going to gamble enough to be able to get the most tier points. You can still have a chance to win a really good prize. And then there's going to be like I'm trying to convince them of this. I'm not sure I'm there yet, but like everyone's going to start, you're going to see who earns the most tier points, but you can get like extra tier points for doing things. Like maybe if you eat at Oscars, you could get extra tier points, or maybe if we do a charity thing, you get extra tier points, and you get tier points for gambling. So I'm really keen on like doing like a loyalty tier point kind of challenge for the weekend, which ties into your gaming, and they have single zero roulette.
Yes, I know they have a single zero roulette because I just got a felt from them that they just removed from their single zero roulette table.
Yeah, so that's so I think it could be really cool. So that's about all the details that I have. I think it's gonna be a great weekend. If it doesn't turn out to be exactly like that, it'll then turn into a very big social meetup for the weekend. But either way, it's happening in some form that weekend. And I also have a lot of friends and a lot of other people from the UK coming in that weekend. So it's definitely something's happening that weekend. So that's sort of good. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I really like that idea of having this thing to look forward to at the end of the year. And, it's Vegas. I mean, it's great to look forward to Vegas trips again.
Yeah. Quiet Boy asking, when is it again? December 18, weekend December 18. Plaza's the focus property. That's probably where I'll stay. I have a property booked through MGM, but now that I know that it's lined up over at the Plaza, I'm happy to stay there and be where the action is happening for that week. Now you're down in Charlotte. I'll actually be down there, and I'll get a chance to say hi to you for the first time in real life in just a few weeks now. But just recently, a casino opened up near you, and it has there's a couple interesting reasons, or there's a couple reasons why that's interesting. Tell me about this.
Yeah, no, it's actually it literally just opened like on July 1st, right? Or is it June 30th? What's so interesting, I mean, obviously I go to places and I'm always fascinated about whatever's happening with casinos. So just as a little bit of sidetrack, we left London in October, and then we were in the Palm Springs area. And Palm Springs area has like a all of these different casinos and casino promotions. So it was this area I've never been before that I was able to like learn all these loyalty programs and promotions and lost back promotions. I was like a kid in a candy shop for months because I wound up with lost back promotion, new player promotions. My wife did them. I did them. It was just the most fun because we basically went from casino to casino and did promotions. And also, since I'm old, they're very kind in Palm Springs, but you're considered sort of senior if you're over 50 years old or 50 or older. They call you like active aces or something to make you feel a little bit better.
Active
but then aces, yes.
Oh my goodness.
But what's even better is that you could stack these promotions. So we would choose to do a promotion with a new player promotion like on a Thursday where they had these other promotions for those that were active aces. So it was good. I know it sounds crazy, but it was fun. I was laughing with my wife because she was on a little bit of a sabbatical. I'm like, is this what retired life is going to be like? On Thursdays, we're going to show up for the promotions at the casino. And one of the coolest things that happened was our final trip to Agua Caliente at Cathedral City to use our free play, our final free play before we were leaving for Charlotte. Ellen got a Delt Royal. And
just stop it.
And it was, of course, someone's like, "Oh, it was only a quarter." I'm like, "Well, that's how we play off our free play on quarter single line video poker." but I was in awe of that because there's just something about like just witnessing that Delt Royal. I mean, that's just like, wow. So that was really cool.
When we were in Biloxi, a guy that was with us there right next to me, I mean, had the audacity, like what an asshole, right next to me, got a Delt Royal. And of course I had to sit there and be happy for him, but inside I'm just like, I hate you. I can't. I'm just kidding. Jimmy, if you're watching, I'm excited for anybody who gets a Royal. I'm just so ready. It's one of those, like, of all the things I've done in my life, I still can't get a stupid Royal Flush on the video poker machine. Adam Bauer's in the house. Needs to say hi before Vito starts. He just wants to get in here. Trager, so how far is that casino then?
So that casino is about a half hour. I mean, they're basically saying it's about a half hour from Charlotte Airport. Now, I am horrible with the geography around here, but it's southeast North Carolina, Kings Mountain area. But what's so interesting, so the only casino you have in North Carolina now is Cherokee, which is Harris Cherokee, which is the Cherokee Indians, which is tribal. And this is a casino by another tribe, and I hope I get the name right. Catawba, I think is how you say it. Catawba. So it's the Catawba tribe. But what's so interesting about it, when I was sort of digging into it, is they're really a tribe that is, I'm abridging this a little bit, but they're a tribe that's a South Carolina tribe, but there's no gaming in South Carolina, tribal or otherwise. But at one point they did have land in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. So they petitioned the federal government to be able to get this piece of land to be able to open a tribal casino. And of course, it got tied up for a little while because Cherokee was fighting it. Because Cherokee said, well, this isn't really a North Carolina tribe. They shouldn't be allowed to have this land. But they claim that this was land that they had, and they sort of left that land, but it's a big part of it. So it's sort of interesting. And I put a couple of links like on the TravelZork Facebook group, about it. So it's sort of, I guess it was a little controversial. I mean, I don't blame Cherokee for wanting to stop this other tribe from getting a casino because Cherokee had a lock on it. But, I've had a thesis for a number of years that, gambling in Vegas, why is, obviously there's less and less gambling in Vegas in comparison to other things that people do in Vegas in comparison to like 20, 30 years ago. And the main reason is that almost everybody in the United States has a casino within 2 hours of their home. But this is one case, because I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, well, Cherokee's more like 3.5 hours from Charlotte. So there really isn't a casino within 2 hours of your home. And I was thinking, what's a reasonable distance in which you would go to a locals casino, right? Like, what do you consider reasonable? And I think to me, a 2 hour drive each way is the borderline reasonable?
That is super borderline. I mean, because Hollywood is in West Virginia, Horseshoe, Baltimore, of course in Baltimore, and then I have National Harbor, right? Those are what I consider my local casinos. National Harbor is a 10-minute drive. That is the most local a casino can really be, but it's expensive. Horseshoe is about an hour to an hour 15 up the road, depending on traffic and stuff. And then sort of in another direction, getting up to Charlestown is about is about an hour and a half. Man, that drive out to Charlestown is a lot. Like when I go out there, it really depends on like how long I'm staying there, why I'm going out there. If I'm going to spend the nights, 2 hours would be easy. If I'm going to be there for the better part of a day or night, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours is sort of on it. But like anything, if it's just like a few hours in the casino, man, I can't be on the road for longer than I'm in the casino. You know, like that's
that's a fair point. Well, I used to do the Southern New Hampshire to Mohegan Sun all the time, and that was about 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes, if I remember correctly. And I did that quite often, and I would usually overnight. I'm actually really look at that. He
either wants dinner or we have neighbors that sit out on their front lawn, and like he always wants to go out there every night to go say hi to them. So he wants one of those.
I live in a building now with, I sometimes feel more dogs than humans. I have never seen such a dog-friendly environment in my entire life. We're in a 21-story luxury building, and I mean, there are dogs all over the place. And we have a dog spa area on the 4th floor, you know, for when you don't want to totally go out with your dog. You have a place to like wash them and hang out outside and things like that. But I think it's awesome. The only problem is, though, I had never in my life been in an elevator before where you had so many dogs at once, and that can be a little bit of a party when you have 3 or 4 dogs in an elevator. It gets sort of interesting. Some of them don't, you know, but that's cool. So you think a locals casino really has to be within an hour? I
think so. I think for it to be like, for me, a locals casino, because to me a locals casino is one that I'm willing to just like run and go pick up free play when it's being offered, right? Like, and I'm not making a 2-hour trip just to pick up free play. But I will make the quick drive over to MGM to pick up some free play. I
really want to go to Harbor. I think it's a great property. It looks really nice to me. I mean, I just think they're doing a lot of interesting things. I don't know if you've seen, but MGM is really expanding their air program all over the place, especially to Atlantic City. They actually, they're doing a big program with Sun Country Airlines where they're bringing more and more people into Atlantic City from more and more markets. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they do good stuff. I mean, I've seen a couple of different sides of it because I went to a bunch of meetings with MGM 2 weeks ago that were more on the hotel side and like food and beverage and hotel side. And they really, they have a lot of interesting things going on. I mean, I have to give them credit. It's opened my eyes to really good management on the hotel revenue side. And it's taken, you know, I'm very critical of a lot of the casino side stuff, which we all are when it comes to MGM usually. But on the other side of it, with the way they manage their hotels and a lot of things that they're doing, I'm pretty impressed by it. So I just have to, it's hard to get my brain out of one mode and into another mode, if that makes sense.
By the way, I just pulled a twig out of my dog's ear. I think it's time for him to get a bath. Yeah, there was a dog. There was a twig in your dog here. But
well, if you bring him, we can take him with Leo to the dog spa. He will
be with me when I go down to Charlotte. I'll be in Charlotte the weekend of July 17. I have a Tiddlywinks match to watch on the night of the 17th, but otherwise I will be in and around Charlotte to do as I please, and the pup will be with me.
Well, that's great. We can do like a whole puppy date.
We can do a puppy date.
Yeah,
let's I mean, he's been waiting patiently enough. Let's go ahead and since drivers go to
well, you have to win the background. Like everybody wins you win, you just win.
Yeah.
Like Vito just wins. It's so wonderful to see Vito. Like, look at that
It is
smile.
great seeing you too. I miss everybody so much. This is like my Friday night. I got the scotch. I got the spikes. I got the lights on here.
Like I don't want to leave him and just leave Eric in the green room. So let's bring Eric Rosenthal in here. Yeah.
No.
Oh man, this is like a family reunion almost on a Friday night.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I am wonderful, hanging out. I got my Pi Gow hoodie on. Connecticut legalized online gaming, so we'll see how long they take to roll that thing out. But we'll see. Hanging out, having a good time. How's life for you guys? We all made it this far. It's 2021, so we must be doing okay.
Can you bet on sports in Connecticut yet? You can't, right?
No, not yet. I believe the way the deal is with the Pequots and the Mohegans is the state lotto is gonna run the online sports betting, and the casinos get to run the online gambling. And for an online poker guy like me, that's depressing because it doesn't seem like we're going to have a quick integration of like a Poker Stars or whatever whatever poker site you want to play on yet. So depressing in a way. I'm sure it'll grind to a halt and I'll be twiddling my thumbs for the rest of the year.
Very good. What was I going to say? Trager, I know you at one point, maybe you still do, had an affinity for Mohegan Sun. Does that still hold true, or is there another property that has that sort of light in your eye?
Right now, I'm going through a very, very strong love affair with Wynn.
Okay,
I mean, my whole, this has been a very strange year for gambling because I had so many trips to Las Vegas, and I've had trips where I've pretty much so not gambled, but I'm feeling pretty loyal and happy with Wynn. I love Mohegan. My memories of Mohegan are great. I just don't see it logistically working out because even when I go up, my kids are all in the Boston area. Even when I go up to Boston, I mean, I love the idea that Encore Boston Harbor is 15 minutes from the airport. I mean, it's just too convenient. So I'll have to see, what the year brings. But that's but I think Mohegan is always great. Vito, what's Mohegan like lately? Have they removed everything? Like, is all the plastic gone, or are people smoking cigars again? Or
as far as I know, I honestly haven't been to Mohegan since everything came down. I've been using what I learned at Zork Fest those past years, concentrating my play at Foxwoods because I can get the lounge access, the rooms there. So as much as I honestly, deep down inside, I love Mohegan and I'd rather play there, I'm trying to be the smart gambler. I have the baby downstairs. We rock him to sleep, and I gotta, I limit the trips. So bigger trips, less amount of times I go, and we'll see. My status is up in September, and I'll be back in Mohegan fast. I'll tell you that much. I missed the Tuscany.
Well, talking status, have you had? I wasn't able to catch everything that you were doing, but did you have any conversation about the Wynn status match? Because I thought that came out of left. I mean, the whole idea that Wynn was doing a status match. I mean, Wynn hasn't had tiers since the beginning of this year, so I guess they never had any statuses to match because they didn't have tiers before January. But I was really surprised that they did that status match program.
I'm actually behind the curve on that one, Michael. You might need to explain it to me here because what are they matching? How are they I gotta go find the reward.
Oh my! I've heard nothing. They're matching. You're getting spa and you're getting a birthday dinner. Just for matching your diamond to win platinum.
Okay, well, I'm down for that. I got to find my cards now, and because I haven't. You just need
to get to Vegas. The match is only running through the end of August.
Okay, well, let's see. I got some time here, and that's another thing I learned at Zork Fest was when I go for my first play day, I want it to be a big day. So I haven't signed up for Wynn. I played at Wynn in Vegas, but I never got the card.
You are so ready for. You're so ready.
We're gonna be packing heat to go play there and make them say, "Oh, that cousin Vito guy, he really is reckless, huh?" And then I'll slowly, get my reckless back a little bit from him, hopefully in from free rooms.
Yeah, no, that's what
I hear. The Boston Harbor rooms are beautiful. Is that true?
I think Boston Harbor is one of the nicest hotel products. It's definitely the nicest in Boston. I mean, the rooms are 600 square feet. They've got all the technology in the world. They have that Alexa thing. I think Eric makes them remove it from his room. But
I sure do.
I don't know. I find Alexa to be sexy. I like women listening to me while I sleep.
Yeah, isn't it? We've seen the memes all around the internet on this stuff, but isn't it funny how like in the 50s, like people were worried about the government tapping into their phone line? Yeah, we have like about 40 microphones that listen to us at all time in our houses now. It's funny how opinions change.
Well, and also the advertising, like we were talking about this Two Kings Casino, right? And now all of a sudden, since I like shared some articles and posted on it, every sponsored ad that's coming up is like visit Two Kings Casino. It's like, it's a little creepy sometimes, when you see that, and that's I've given. I think you sort of have to give up on privacy if you do social.
Vito, where is your online store? Because that is a pretty cool hoodie. Where is your online store for people who want that price hoodie?
There it is. I think I linked it up to my website. It's at tpublic.com, but I'm in some affiliate programs, so it's a big ball break to get the link. It's a bunch of little letters and numbers. So I'm going to see if I can paste the link into the YouTube here. Like a real.
Hey, if you'd like to get some Better Life merchandise, you can get to the betterlife.us/merch. Make it a really easy URL for people to remember. So when people want to support the show, they can just go to that link. But
I would go to makeluckhappen.com and click on store, and you can get there. And that'll lead you to an outside link that's really long, but that'll be the TeePublic store.
You gotta tweet this stuff out because I love that stuff. I love sharing that stuff. Come on, man. It makes it easy for us old people.
By the way, the whole reason we're here, for every viewer of the live stream today, I'll be donating $2 to two different charities. One, the Las Vegas Rescue Commission, vegasrescue.org is where you can go to support the charity if you want to on your own. And then Arlington Food Assistance Center, afac.org, is where you can support there. I haven't looked at the numbers on followership, but I think followership donations is going to get up. Good. By the way, I have action on this Tiddlywinks game to my right here. That's what I'm looking over here. We just tied it up. So very good. $1 for every follower again on social media, $2 for every viewer in the stream, and then $1 for every viewer of this video moving forward. Eric was nice enough to do a little birthday surprise for me at the top. He's contributing to these organizations as well. Each person has made their way through my random questions. I'm giving Eric dumb questions just because it's kind of fun. I should give him a fair question before the end of the day that he can contribute to as well. But I'm going to say it's going to be a good day. I'm really glad to support these two organizations. We plan on doing this. I say we. I plan on doing this once a quarter, and send out the feelers for people who want to join me. But I've said this plenty of times. Eric, you and I talked about this plenty when we were when you used to be on this podcast called The Better Life here, and it's important to take this lifestyle that we have in which we're willing to like just easily separate ourselves from our money. We should take that personality trait and use it for good as well, right? And that comes to the forms of charity bets. And one of the reasons why I continue to support Arlington Food Assistance Center, not only because they're a local organization, my wife really likes them. But when we were doing charity bets, Eric, they like DM'd me and they were like, "Thank you so much for including organization in what you're doing." And it meant a lot to me that like they recognize that even though we're just making a silly bet on a football game, they realize the value and what it means that we're doing it for the sake of supporting organizations. So that's one of the reasons why I continue to support them. Vito. Believe it or not, I still listen to your show. I still listen to, even though I'm not subscribed, but I do see when you put out. I'm just kidding. When is your microphone on? I can't hear you.
Hello, am I there?
There you are. Okay. The most recent episode that you did, you brought a non-casino enthusiast to the casino. I listened to both goodness, I don't know why I did this, but I listened to both interviews you did with this guy, and then I listened to like when he came back. But look at just one's got a day with the casinos taking off. Hey, 36 red. Make a bet on 36 red for me. Here's what I'm curious about, Vito. If you had to do that again, what would you, not with the same person, but if you had to bring a non-casino enthusiast to the casino, what's something that you did with your friend that you would definitely do again? And what's something that you would do differently?
I would let us sleep in a little more, because we had a blast, but you know what? I was so revved up and the plexiglass came down at Foxwoods. So I was up, and he wanted to shut the blackout shades. I like leaving them cracked a little bit. I like those, seeing the morning come in, get me stirring. But, we were up too early. We were by after our bingo game, we were both really beat up. So I'd probably sleep in till maybe 9 a.m. instead of waking up at like 6:30 and popping the champagne like a maniac. But other than that, I mean, we had a great time. It was casual. The key is with the recreational casual gambler that it doesn't really love it that much. We can't horrify them with any big losses or games with large variance off the bat, because he ended up kind of not playing by the end on his own because he was kind of, I'm okay with it, but he didn't lose all his money. So he wants to go back. That's the key. Keep him coming back.
Why? So I'm curious. Were you just sort of, I mean, I don't want you to peel back the curtain too much, but like, were you just generally curious if you could create a casino enthusiast? Are you desperate for company at the casino? Like, what was the motivation here on doing this?
Well, it's a little bit of that. And I mean, the guy I went with, it really is a true story. We've been friends since I met my wife. So we're talking, I don't know how many years now, but he always at Dodge is going to the casino with me. He came for my bachelor party we did up there, but we've never played together. He's always got an excuse. He'll go on a road trip to Saratoga Springs to the horse races to see his family and, bet on a horse, but he'll never go to the casino. So finally, when I got the platinum status at Foxwoods, I had a golf discount. So he's a golfer. So I threw that out there and I lured him in with the golf discount. And then by the time we booked the trip, I was like, I couldn't get the tee time. And then he was screwed. He was stuck on me. So I lured him in there, but he had a good time. I mean, he finally got the whining and dining and the casino stroll. I think that's what really got him is we don't have to be wild animals. We could walk around with our cocktail, say hello to some people, maybe play for a few minutes at a table. If we want to take a walk, no big deal. I think he was one of those people that pictures like the sitcom where you sit at the blackjack table and all of a sudden you're emptying out your savings account because you're hooked on it, where I feel like he got to see a hot craps table. So I think that might also have made him want to come back.
By the way, is that a Roadcaster Pro you got there on your table?
Yeah, this is a Roadcaster Pro right there. I'm advertising all sorts of stuff. I got this from Amazon.com. I like the Roadcaster. I love it.
It is literally in my cart. I have not yet made the purchase yet, but what's in 2021 when you are an adult and people want to get you birthday presents, they just send you Amazon gift cards. This is what happens now, right? And so I may have accumulated enough of that I may treat myself to a Roadcaster Pro, because I would like to have a mixer. It's the one thing in my podcasting career I've never used is a mixer.
Totally worth it. Hang on, I can actually reach. I have one of my old mixers, this little clunky, it worked. It did the trick, nice and cheap. But I'm telling you, this thing's even got the sound effect.
Looks like an old Klinko, like one of those old.
Can you hear this? Is that coming through? Oh, look,
yeah, that's great.
Bro, it's so easy. We could get the sad trombone. All your songs, all your things. So I should have an Amazon card on my website. I have you click the link for that.
Vito, what sound do you use when someone gets a Delta Royal Flush?
Wow, Delta Royal Flush. I wish I was there for it. I went to Foxwoods this past weekend with Robin for 4 times points, and I actually hunkered down and I said, you know what, I was with Robin. He's a video poker guy. I sat at the video poker bar for hours trying to get my Royal. Didn't happen. So I don't know what I'm going to play. You should
hang out with my wife. She's very good with Royal.
I need some luck, I'll tell you that, because the video poker, Robin was having some fun with doing some Ultimate X, multipliers. He had a couple of
he loves that
aces, quad fours, all this great stuff. I was like, nothing that exciting. I was just biting my nails, drinking I got a lot of cappuccinos that day. It was early, so the bar wasn't open.
Speaking of multiplier, Eric, I don't know if just off the top of your head, or and Trager, you might be able to answer this as well. But for the first time almost ever, the MGM National Harbor is doing a slot point multiplier. And it's one of those where like you go to the kiosk and you win some range between 2 and 12. What multiplier, from your knowledge of the MGM ecosystem, what multiplier makes it worth bothering to play that day? So if I went in and I got my random somewhere between 2 and 12 times multiplier, what's the threshold? I'm like, okay, this may be enough to sit down and play something for the benefit here.
Is it a tier multiplier or a like express comps multiplier?
It is a slot points and express comps multiplier. I don't know if it's a tier. I don't think it's a tier credit. Now that I think about it, I don't think it's a tier credit multiplier. That's a great. That was a great question. Because now that I realize it doesn't actually mention tier credits. It says convert your slot points to express comps. No, I think it has to be right because that's what you do with tier credits. Is you can. That's a great point. I don't know.
Because I'm so shitty with the MGM program sometimes.
Okay, so slot points is different than
tier credits.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
The slot points, like they said, convert to express comps.
Okay. Yeah. Never mind. I asked then.
Because Caesars mixes it up a lot. I mean, Caesars did the 5 times tier multiplier, and they're doing. I hear they're doing another 5 times tier multiplier in August, but Caesars also does the reward credit multiplier days, so it depends on what promotion. I mean, the reward credit multiplier is much more common than the tier multiplier. I think Eric, right? You got 100 times once, didn't you, Eric, or somebody?
Yeah, that required having somebody come down with cash to make that worthwhile. Yeah, that was a couple of phone calls.
Well, 100 times is amazing. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I think actually, I think someone when we looked last time, we looked at it with Caesars, like with reward credits, as long as it 25 times and up it was fine. You don't have to think about it. It's all good. Yeah. But it's pretty cool stuff. It is interesting though, Vito. You talk about like bringing the non-gambler because my wife hates casinos except for doing promotions. That's she likes that because she looks at it like it's a job. So it's
my wife, as we all know, not a casino goer. And there's Vito keeps on going, oh, come on, like, you know, a couple that plays together stays together. Like, no, if I try to get Shannon into gambling, she'd be like, I'm leaving you.
If you look, I don't know if you can notice behind me, but I was able to finally hang up my old license plates from New Hampshire.
Ooh, I like that. Natural 9, skip tie. See, I need a Pygal one. I got to change my license plate, I think.
Yeah, Pygal's probably available in New Hampshire. That's
Connecticut. I could need the Connecticut plate. I could get the Pygal.
Yeah.
I could do hard 6. I can put that on the license plate. That'll fit.
So, Trager, I don't know what your timeline is like tonight, Trager, but I'm going to go ahead and ask you the donation multiplier question now, so that way I get this in before any time you need to slip out. Yours is I think yours is relatively straightforward. I think we get so. Trager, you have been on the podcast, I think about 4 times now, actually. If we include the last time we did one of these little community events, over under 18 and a half episodes. Do you remember which episode you first appeared on The Better Life? Was it episode 18 and earlier or episode 19 and later?
18 and earlier.
Nope. You were episode 20.
Am I allowed to give you my question?
Yeah, sure.
My donation challenge question?
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
You're going
but I gave it away today on Twitter, but I'm going to do it. So I'll donate. I will donate $180. And if you don't answer the question, I'll donate 90. If $180, what's the first casino in Vegas where I actually played baccarat?
I saw this. I don't know if it's fair for me to answer.
If you saw it, it's good. That's the goal. The goal. I gave you something that you either saw it or you didn't see it.
Aladdin, the old one.
There you go. So $180.
But bets. I love it. Vito.
And I was 19 and I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's the story. And then just then you figure out what you're doing eventually.
Yeah. Vito, I have long said that one of the best episodes that I've heard in this community, and possibly the best episode in your library, is the holiday episode you did, I think in like 2018. Still stands as like one of the most fun episodes I think I've ever listened to in this community. I I really appreciate that you are now it seems like the kid is bothering you a little less than he was when he first entered this world. How does it feel to be making content again, man? I see that you're putting your Make Luck Happen Studios is happening back there, but I have one gripe to make about your recent podcast. I have one gripe to make. Okay. There is no call to the Seneca quotes. You have not mentioned Seneca in your most recent episodes, and it actually kind of disappoints me.
You know what? I'm gonna have to make a note of that. It must have slipped my mind. Yeah, I got a little rust. I'm like the Tin Man. I got to get the oil can, get myself all juiced up here because it's been a long road. This COVID, and honestly, the baby's been beautiful. It hasn't been the baby; it's my job. I'm in a management position now, so it's like
it's in a management position.
Right. I'm a good boss. I'm kind of like a gambling Michael Scott in a way at my job, but. That's it. I used to have a nice set schedule where now it's like sometimes, I'm out there late, I'm there early. So I got to remember that. Roman philosopher Seneca, I almost forgot about him. No wonder why I'm losing every time, even though I did have that one nice hot craps table. But it's probably like the Royal last time I went. I'm making a note right now. I got my special marker.
Very good. Vito, someone in the chat wants to know, that hat that you're wearing, is that available in your store?
No, actually, it's not available in the store. This is a one-of-a-kind custom hat. So I should make these and put them in the store, but we're slowly getting back to the groove here. You know how it is, Tim. It could become a grind, and then suddenly you sit there and you say, "Oh man, especially now I got the baby crying, the wife's out there, and I'm sitting here having a grand old time." So we'll see.
Mikey Nines is in the house.
Mikey.
Let me tell you, I got a little warm and fuzzy inside when I heard Mikey Nines on the podcast. It felt like it was 2018 again.
And it felt good to be at the craps table with him. I'm telling you, that was one of the funnest times we had, and I'm happy the recreational guy got to see it. And when it was nice, we still had the mask. The plexiglass was down, but we were given fives. I had a guy hugging me at the table. It really felt great. And
I need another Mohegan trip with you guys.
Oh, we had some fun. I look back at the pictures and all the good times we had. It's like, man, we had some really good times all these years, man. It feels good. That's when Tim invited me, and I saw the lineup. I said, we'll crack the scotch for this one. And I cracked the seltzer to him.
Yeah, I really twisted your arm. You're like, yeah, I'm in. I really twisted your arm. Very good.
I'll fly up to a trip for Foxwoods if you can get Mikey Nines there.
Mikey,
I'm good for a Foxwoods trip too.
Me too.
I like this.
Now that I'm more geographic. How many times do I have to charge the car on the way there? These electric cars are very confusing to me. I know I'm going to run out of charge. I just know it's going to happen. But
yeah, that's got to be. And so when you're doing this, is not gambling wise, but the electric car. So you're going on a road trip with the electric car. You run out of charge and you start charging. How long does it take to charge?
Well, if you can find one of the supercharging locations, it's a half hour. If you have to plug it into a wall outlet, it's 3 days. So, I mean, that's so you want to, and then there's the in-between. There's the in-between, but it's
so we'll be like, oh, Michael's coming. He'll be here in a few days. He left yesterday.
Yeah. I'm like, I tell my wife every time I get in it, I'm like, it sounds like a toaster. Like, it doesn't sound like a car. I mean, it's cool and all, but it doesn't seem like a car. But
look, we got a lot of people here. Rick D says I'm in for Foxwoods. Tara's down for Foxwoods. Mikey's saying he's down for Foxwoods. Edward O'Connor says he's down for Biloxi if we end up doing it. Look, I think here's the big question. Vito, I don't know.
Vegas too.
Oh yeah, we have Vegas as well. Yeah, like just gambling around the freaking world. They get that Vegas Bun Boy drop going. Gambling around. Remember that? Remember the little drop he had in his show? Whatever happened to that guy? Is he okay? He like fell off. Like I swear, like all of a sudden one day I saw a Vegas Bun Boy, and then one day I didn't. Now that I'm realizing I probably should have checked with people before publicly asking if he's okay.
I think he's fine. I think that whole Vegas club thing sort of broke up a little or something, but I don't think there's nothing bad, you know.
Okay, well, I'm glad the answer to this wasn't Tim. We'll talk to you about him. We're done with this. That's an awkward question to ask right now. Very good, Vito. Gamble Palooza. Well, people are already asking me about Gamble-Palooza next year? Will we see another Gamble-Palooza?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do a Gamble-Palooza. I feel guilty doing a Gamble-Palooza when I'm not churning out the shows. You know what I mean? I don't want to just say, "Oh, everyone, please come for my vanity, hang out with me." When we're doing shows, I feel like it's like a more of a group thing. Where if I'm just saying, "Everyone, yeah, I'm going to be here. Come to my events." Buy my T-shirt. I feel a little guilty about it, but it seems like we got a Foxwoods meetup cooking in the chat here, Tim, on YouTube. So
yeah,
maybe that'll be. We'll dip the toe in here, get a nice friends and family meetup, and then maybe we all work together, do something this next spring, or I'm up for whatever. Honestly, I would love to just meet up with everyone, have a good time, do a slot pull, have some cocktails, crafts game.
I think Mississippi Rob's trying to get a Biloxi trip in April going anyway, so we might be able to just piggyback off that. And I think there's already people talking about it. Man, gambling trips are back. I love it.
And thanks to TravelZork and ZorkFest tips, I went to MGM Springfield for the Thanks Gambling event. Played really, really, really wild, and they're offering me the plane rides to Biloxi now. I don't want to do it because once I go, they're going to hate me. But until I do it,
you know what? Don't do it. It doesn't matter because if they hate you, you just start it all over.
So maybe Gamble-Palooza will be when I use it. I've been holding off. The Borgata's been trying to tease me. They've been doing like I could go to like the local airport and they'll fly me on like the little plane down there. But I've been holding off because
I just booked Borgata from Charlotte for September because they're expanding their air program, and I'm not sure if my car can make it to Borgata, so I figured it's safer to just fly. But actually, it's wonderful because the airport's so close. So I think the most amazing thing sometimes is just taking advantage of things and seeing where it's going to go. And I think that was what I loved about Palm Springs, because every one of these opportunities we had, it's like, it's so fine. I'm not going to be here ever again. So, I'm just going to take advantage of it. And that's a great feeling. And I think that's more and more the way people are feeling lately, quite honestly. I think loyalty is tough. I think you were talking about it much earlier in the show about Caesars and stuff. And you really have to think about how worth it. What's the value proposition of being loyal, right? I'm not so sure sometimes. So maybe you just have to do what works for you. But I think those air program things are awesome. Like, you should definitely take advantage of that.
All right, so I have a few more questions to peddle around the group. There's a couple more in the chat, and I want to get through these before I actually have a hard out that coming up in a little bit, because I have a D&D game I have to play because I'm that big of a freaking nerd.
Well, I have about 5 minutes, so if there's anything.
Oh, then yes, let's get this the one first then. Someone wants to ask a question for you. Recommendation for someone who's thinking about doing a career change into the travel industry. Do you have any thoughts here?
A career change. I mean, I guess it depends what they want to do in the travel industry. I think part of that would have to be like from what their skill set is and what they think they would like to do. Recently, I don't know how many people know or don't know, but TravelZork started selling a lot of travel as a travel agent, and I resisted it for a long time. But that's very sales oriented. So, I mean, I think that's, and then there's the other time where the other part of being in the travel industry where you're working on property or working, representing a property or something like that. So, I mean, I think it sort of depends what you're doing. I mean, I like the sales side of it. I also love getting the inside side of it. Like, I love now that I'm so up on like what the Vegas room rates are, how these companies are dealing with their room revenue. I think casino properties are amazing because what's so interesting about them is that they're, basically the hotel side is always negotiating with the casino side. So when you talk to someone who's like the manager for travel agent services at Cosmo, they have to negotiate with the casino side for like the suites and the upgrades and things like that, because it's like two different departments running. Whereas when you deal with a regular hotel, like in Orlando, they run their own show, right? The travel agent, the revenue management and everything in the hotel. But in a casino property, the casino controls a lot of the premium space. So the travel side of it's negotiating with that. So I find that extremely fascinating and very interesting to, it gives me more insight into it. And also from a geek perspective, I just love having all the insight on the room renovations and what's going on. Like Luxor, like the new renovations of the Pyramid Tower are, that's all the old Bellagio furniture. I just love stuff like that, which MJF didn't want anyone to know. But if you look at the pictures, all the casino geek people know it's the Bellagio furniture that's at Luxor. So you could basically stay at Luxor and it's like being at Bellagio, except for half the price. So that kind of stuff. So, but I think, follow your passions is what I would say. And of course, if anyone has any specific questions about that, just email me, Michael at TravelZork, and I'm happy to chat about that kind of thing.
Since everybody's pimping their stuff, I have nothing to pimp, and I'm no longer in an equity position at TravelZork. But I want to say I've been using Michael and TravelZork Travel to book my revenue rooms. So the non-casino, where you're paying for a room. Tremendous value. He does an amazing job. I can't tell you how impressed I am with the whole operation. If you are looking for, Vegas, he's got a lot of things going on as well, but it's not going to compare to a comp room. But if you're traveling anyway and you're looking for substantial value, I think he's got me going to Waldorf Astoria for about what I would pay for a Motel 6, thereabouts.
Wow.
So, nice.
It always doesn't work out that way.
Listen, all I can tell you is the man takes care of me. I'm very pleased with the work that he does.
Which Waldorf? The Waldorf in Vegas?
No, this one's in Panama City.
Ooh, Panama City. Me and Mikey stayed at the Waldorf in Manhattan one night. It was actually kind of dated the room, but it was cool. The lobby was nice.
Yeah, but that's an iconic property. There's so much history there. It's great stuff. I love all of that. And you learn a lot. Travel is amazing that way. Anyway, it's been a real pleasure.
Michael, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Really enjoyed this. Keep me up on this Connecticut thing. I think I need to return to Connecticut.
I think it's time for a Foxwood trip for real.
Yeah. Well, am I allowed to stay at Mohegan though and shuttle between them?
Oh yeah, we'll go to both places. I think it'll be
okay. Because I just I sort of Mohegan.
I don't know.
We played Baccarat together at Mohegan. Remember that Baccarat? You were loving it.
Honestly, that was one of my favorite nights, and that was the night, Michael, that I understood Baccarat. Like I know how to play it, but I didn't understand your drive to play it. Why you love it so much. We were at that table. I was saying, you know what? I see why this is his game. Sometimes it takes time to understand why somebody likes a game. And that was the night. And it
was great times. Great seeing everyone. Have a wonderful July 4th weekend. Yeah, no.
Thanks, Michael.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. Now it's just us. I got a few more minutes here. By the way, Eric Rosenthal, I have to say, you've hung out. People don't know, but you've actually just been hanging out this whole time. Like, people have seen you come and go. You haven't left. You've been in the green room hanging out to join from time to time when I need some help with conversation and my potty break and stuff like that. So, big thanks for hanging out with me, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. The pleasure's mine, Tim.
The pleasure. We all know the pleasure is yours.
It happens to all of us. It's okay.
Yeah. Hey, Vito. I'm asking everybody a little Tim Lawson trivia question. If you get it right without multiple choice, I'm going to tack on a 10% addition to my donations to charity. If you get it right with multiple choice, I'll add on 5%. So far, everybody has eked out the 5%er. No one has been able to get these questions right off the bat. They're kind of no one really should. But here's your question. When I was in Barcelona, when I was in Barcelona, my friend and I went to the local casino to play poker, and the European Poker Tour was actually in there, and we could not get a seat at any. There was 2 cash games going. There was like a wait list 5 hours long. We were not going to play poker, so I sat down and played blackjack at a casino for the first time right then and there. And in my first session of blackjack, I made a very rookie move. Can you guess what my rookie mistake in a blackjack hand was in my first session?
And the sad thing is here, I thought I have no chance of getting this, but I don't know if we talked about this on your show or maybe at the craps table or playing Pai Gow, but I remember your Barcelona trip. I remember that you played blackjack for the first time, and I can't believe it. Oh man, what was it? Rookie mistake. Okay,
think of something that only a rookie would do. Even an amateur blackjack player knows not to do this. This is a very rookie move.
I'm gonna say, and there's a couple rookie mistakes, but when you say rookie, an easy one that people think they want to do is going to be split the tens.
That's exactly right, cousin Vito.
Right. What's my multiplier?
10%.
Reward credits here.
10%. We're adding on 10%. Where's my? Hold on. I've just been writing all this stuff down. I can't even find. Oh, there it is. So we're up to. I think we're up to 40% now. 40% tacked on to the donations we're making for the two causes. If anybody's joining just recently doesn't know, we're doing all this for the Arlington Food Assistance Center, local charity here to me, and then the Las Vegas Rescue Mission out there in Las Vegas. And we're celebrating my birthday, my 36th birthday. How to go after the split? Don't remember. I think it actually went well. Actually, now that I remember, the reason why I picked up quickly that I wasn't supposed to do it because I split the tens, and of course there was I heard like someone at the table be like, yeah, that response of like, what is this guy doing? And it worked out. Because then Eric, you and I have spoken about this. People started piggybacking on my square, which is a very popular thing to do in Europe. Yeah. Eric, I have a much more appropriate Tim Lawson trivia question for you. I have drug you through the ringer of stupid soccer questions, but I have a much more fair Tim Lawson trivia question for you. We all know that me and my wife enjoy hiking the Appalachian Trail. I've mentioned it many times on the podcast. In fact, Gamblepalooza, Atlantic City, I was fresh off of the AT when I got there. Eric, out of the, I don't know how many states it is. I want to say it's like 6, 9, 12, 14 states. Out of the 14 states that span the Appalachian Trail, I have completed 3 of them. Can you name the 3 states in which I have walked the entirety of the Appalachian Trail in that state?
No.
So easy compared to this one.
I mean, no.
Vito's, yours was the easiest. Out of all the questions, yours was hands down the easiest. Okay, I will list the states for you, and would that help if I listed all the states for you?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll play this game. Good.
Okay. Yeah. Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. 3 of those I've completed.
Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania.
That is absolutely right, sir. Nailed it.
Yep,
that's a 5% multiplier. Yep. Very good. Vito, yours was definitely the easiest, and you are definitely also the only person who got it before multiple choices offered. I've been giving Eric some tougher questions because he knows me so well. I can't think of an actual fair question to ask him that he just wouldn't just know because of. But I think what's funny is I think he's known the answer to all the other questions.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, I definitely split tens. It's definitely something that happened. Okay. I have been sitting here talking to a number of people for about 2.5 hours now. And I've only had to pee once. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. Normally I'm a once an hour kind of guy, but here I am. Vito, now that you've been getting back to the casino more often, now that so I bring this up a number of times on the show before. Eric and I have discussed this on the show. When you become a content creator in this space, it's difficult to enjoy the casino without thinking, what does this mean for content, right? And I remember you specifically when we were in the heat, when both of us were deep into making content. I remember you saying, I just want to gamble for fun again. Right. And I'm curious, you got sort of a natural break because of the kid, because of the pandemic and stuff. You're making podcasts again, but I imagine you've been able to get back to that space of being able to just gamble for fun. What is it about gambling that you're enjoying now again that is difficult to enjoy when you're thinking about content?
Well, honestly, it's not the gambling's part of it, but it's like, to really be a content creator, if I went to Foxwoods I went to Mystic with my wife, and then me and Robin hopped in the car. We went up to Foxwoods. And if I were creating content, I'd be like, oh, I got to snap a picture of this. Oh, I'm getting my meal. Let me get a good shot so we can put it online. Oh, we're playing. Let's get a shot of us playing at the thing. Where I'm not a big picture guy in my personal life anyway for online. So that's I don't mind talking about what I do, but the hardest part of me is stopping what I'm doing to get that picture, to write the thing down I need to write down. Where, that's what really got me is then you go on the trip and you're like, I need a trip report. Like even me and Robin, I said, we'll set up a time to do our trip report for a show this week. And you know what? This is going to sound, a little slacker of me, but I said, you know what? We had a fun time. I don't feel like recording and doing the trip report this week because, just the way life was, the baby's so cute. He's banging his head, running around. I had a great time, but it's the everything has to be organized where I'm more of a, go with the flow type of guy. So that's probably what it was, is I like going with the flow. And actually, the good thing was with the last one where I had the novice gambler with me, he took all the notes on his phone for me. I was like, you should take notes about this. And he had his phone out while he was with me. So that's kind of what I need. I need like a little stenographer behind me to type up what's going on, and then it'd be easy for me. So, yeah, being organized and actually taking notes and taking pictures was what ruined it for me. But I'm back. I'm feeling better, refreshed. My new shirt.
Very good. Eric, same question to you. It's been actually a year this week that I had to make the transition from episode 100, which was the episode that you left, to hosting a show without Eric Rosenthal. You've had a year, both with a natural break with pandemic and you leaving the show, and then now with things reopening. How is gambling? How has your ability to enjoy gambling changed, improved, maybe not changed so much now that you don't have to think about, what does this mean for this week's podcast?
So it's good that I'm not searching for content. And we've talked about this. The difficult thing is, though, sometimes I see something and I know there's good content there. I know this is something that would carry a effing show and we could really get into this, and there's nowhere to go with it. Right. So I send you a text message and we talk about it for, whatever. I think so. Going back a year, it hurt more when it was like, Jesus, like everything has to be content. And now it's not that I don't get to enjoy it, because I do, but the content's still there. You still see it. And it doesn't have to be every time, but when there's something really good, you wish there was something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agreed. It is funny how, I mean, we've joked about this towards the end of your tenure, but there would be days where you and I would be so busy with life, we would not be able to prepare a show. We would get on, we'd find like the 1-2 hour slot that we can record, and you'd be like, well, this happened at the casino. I was like, bet, let's start with that. And we would start with it, and it literally would carry the show. Like it would lead into multiple conversations, and then boom, before we knew it, we had a 90-minute episode, and it was great.
I didn't know what we were going to talk about today. I've got a list of things from, the experiences from the last, couple of weeks. So, I mean, that's what it is. But, to be fair, right? Like Vito's go with the flow. I totally get to go with the flow now. Wherever the night takes me is what I do.
Something that is always difficult, and I kind of talked about this a little bit on the Vegas vacation recap, but something, and Vito, you experience this, I know, a lot during Gamble Paloozas, is when you're at a meetup, you need to constantly let people know where you are, what you're doing, and even when it's like not even even when it's not even my meetup, I know that people are like interested in where I'm at, so I always find that I remember I left a cocktail event, and then I played at the Luxor for a little bit before going to another event, and I didn't tell anybody where I was, and it was so liberating. I was like, oh, I just get to play here. This is Tim Lawson enjoying a craps game real quick, because no one expected to need to know where I was because we were in between events. But there's definitely that like pressure of, okay, I found a craps table. I need to tell people where I'm at, or I'm leaving this craps table. Like people might be on their way to me now. Now that I'm leaving, I have to like tweet out that I'm no longer here. It becomes a whole thing.
Yeah, especially because the nature of gamblers is it's like herding cats anyway. So people might show up 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late, and it's like, you know how it is. You might get to a craps table. You might be 20 minutes in and be like, I got to get out of here now. We got to run from this place. And you want to play with everybody. That's really the toughest thing, is you want to play. If I had an unlimited bankroll, I would love to stay at the table for hours and meet everybody, but you get to a point where you're like, I really should eat something, but do I want people around me? Do I just want to squash something down? You know what I mean? It does get a little bit, tough when you have the big events and you're like, okay, I got to go here, got to go. Because even especially the Zork Fest too. We had some of the Zork Fest. It's like you have to be there. There's classes you're going to, there's stuff you're doing, and it's like you want to have the most fun, but you also need to be a little bit, composed to meet everyone. You know me. It's hard for me to stay composed once we're, a few hours in the casino here. I'll go.
A little bacala, huh?
A little bacala.
Bacala, yeah. I'm almost getting a little bacala here tonight, guys. I'm having fun. It's like a night out for me. I got the baby he's already sleeping. He's in the bed having a good time. Little Sonny boy. My wife's downstairs. She's hanging out, and I'm here hanging out with the boys. It feels like old times. I wish Connecticut Online Poker was running. We could have played a game together. We'll see. Where this is going to grind to a halt. And I don't know if you guys know Connecticut. This is going to grind to a halt. Poker should be going already. It's never going to go because we're not going to have a big enough. Pequots and the Mohegans are going to take over the state, and there's not going to be a big enough player pool to have really like a viable online poker thing, is what I'm assuming. So it's going to be a skimpy Connecticut only Pequot Mohegan collaboration. We'll see.
Hey, Tim, are you aware of any offshore places that offer online poker globally where maybe we could fill a table?
Offshore.
If we were willing to play such games.
I don't know actually. Offshore poker, like I know we can do play money poker, like Mark and Dr. Mike did, with Poker Stars, doing a play money. So like we behind the scenes buy in, but then play the play money. And then we just sort of we could do that, but I'm really bad at poker. Like you just take my money. It's not even fair. Like you guys would just take.
It's all luck. You could do fine. It's all luck.
It's all luck. Yeah, that's what they tell the fish at the poker table in Vegas.
Podcast poker game. You can put it right on YouTube. We'll do the podcast poker. We'll all get our cameras up. You can watch our faces. It'll be a fun event at least for the people that are involved. I'm dying for some online poker. If you can't tell. Side note, this is to do with the cryptocurrency. So years ago, I guess I won't get into where I used to play or what I used to do, but they want you to buy in with the Bitcoin, and I went through the process of doing the Bitcoin for the buy-in because I was like, you to get the wallet, you got to give like your passport, your license, your blood type, all this different stuff, and I was like, I don't know about this. And now I look back and I say, thank God I didn't do it because imagine I would have been like, oh yeah, I lost 2 Bitcoin playing online poker, and then you look back and be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I had all this Bitcoin that I lost playing online roulette or something. So I feel good that I never bought into the crypto at that point because I would have lost an unimaginable amount. If you think back to what was Bitcoin, $8 a coin back in the day, you would have had 100 coins in your wallet and be like, okay, let me go play some roulette. And then you look back and say, wow, what a dummy I was. I should have just sat on my Bitcoin. Any good crypto stories for you guys? Nothing for me. I'm depressed over.
It's not a good crypto, but I definitely gave up on Doge like 3 days before it spiked. And it's not like a big, like I would have been a millionaire, but it definitely would have been. It was a significant enough amount where I was a little sick when I saw it happen. I've never played offshore where like you actually have to make a Well, that's not true, I guess. So I have played it. I've played like. It's transitioning, crypto into cash is essentially. So I'm not putting a certain amount of like crypto on the line, right? Like I have played it offshores before, years ago where, you're making your deposits via some sort of crypto. Ethereum was always a popular. Well, Bitcoin obviously is popular, but as Eric mentioned a couple of years ago, like when you get the payout, when you get the withdrawal. Like your money's going into a fluctuating market, right? And so by the time the email comes saying that your payout is done, you could have lost a few $100s already based on the fluctuation of the market, right? From the time that the transaction happened to you even realizing that it even happened. So that is definitely the catch on being able to do that. But I mean that's where look, man, I love that there's live operators in the States. I enjoy now there's like 7 operators in Virginia and I use 5 of them currently. But just today, I've been in a complete freaking battle with DraftKings because I cannot convince DraftKings that my computer is connected inside the state of Virginia. And they're like giving me all of these troubleshooting. And I'm like, you are the only operator that this is a problem with. No one else has a problem with this. Every other operator knows that I'm in the state of Virginia. When I use the app on my phone, it knows I'm in the state of Virginia. But if I connect to the DraftKings Sportsbook on my computer over, like I have an Ethernet cable. I'm not even on the Wi-Fi. I'm directly wired into, and like they're like, we can't figure out what's going on. And it's like, goodness great, it's 2021. If I was on the moon, you'd be able to know. How do you not know I'm in the state of Virginia? It just drives me nuts. Anyhow, that was my rant on DraftKings.
You know what the problem with the offshore was for me is when you cash out. I didn't get the crypto or anything. I was at the point when you cash out and they would send you checks still. Mm-hmm. I was getting checks. They were checks from China, checks from all these different countries, and you get to a point where you're like, what am I doing? What is going on here? I got a little measly, and you got to go to the bank, and you're like, it's not even that much money, and you're like, oh yeah, I don't know where I got this check from. It's all in Mandarin. I don't know what to tell you here. that was years and years ago, but that's when I said, you know what, this is getting a little too. I mean, we're talking. This is back when poker became illegal, so we're talking 15 years ago now, but. Yeah, that's what I'm like. You know what? I'm just gonna back away from this for a little bit because this is getting a little too hairy here. Trying to get all these crazy checks in the mail.
Those checks with the Mandarin on it. You're like, I'm not convinced I'm not going to get arrested as soon as I go to deposit.
It was like, what is this? I was like, I sold something on eBay, and they're like, okay, and then
sold something on eBay.
It wasn't like it was so much where it's like they're like, we got to, you're going to be, this is going to trigger a red flag for them. This was like, worst case it bounces and they ding me for it, but. Once you get them, you're like, what am I actually doing here? Now that I'm thinking about it, now that Full Tilt Poker's closed, what is going on in my life?
Okay. I need to be logged in and playing my Dungeons and Dragons session in about 15 minutes because I'm that big of a nerd.
Tim, I have a D&D question.
Yes, please.
I never played Dungeons and Dragons. I really never knew what it was, but I do love the idea. It seems pretty cool.
It's very cool.
The idea of getting into an immersive board game with your friends. So you're logging on. Are you playing on an online board? Is there some game lord with the board in their room that the camera's on? Like, how do you play live now in the 21st century here?
All right, so this isn't gambling content, so I'm going to make this very quick to answer your question. But
could you gamble on it? Could you everyone buy in for like $200 and be like, all right, guys, I'm the wizard. You're going to be the troll.
I mean, you could technically do like a battle royale and gamble on it because technically it still would be at random at chance, and there would be like you would be able to like put odds on who could or couldn't win. But to answer your question, we use a program called Fantasy Grounds that is an online software that has all of like the online maps and everything. We use Discord to chat, so that's how we talk to each other. We use Fantasy Grounds to actually play the game. And it's about that easy. So, yes, if you ever want to look without getting too much into it, Tony Snyder, Jason Gillikin, and I are putting together a D&D, it's fun. It's, I like playing D&D. I like DMing too. So if you ever want, you can, I don't know. I hope he doesn't mind me asking. I have run a one-time session for Eric Rosenthal, so he knew what D&D was like. And, I think he would admit that I'm pretty good at running a D&D session. So
I was incredibly skeptical. I thought it was going to be a terrible way to spend an evening. We made it fun, had a good time. I haven't played since, but right. it was well done. He's very
good.
Though she'd be like, "What are you doing now?" Like, I'm playing. I'll be in my boxers playing D&D with Tim and the big gang. She'll be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we're married."
What's funny is when I didn't play growing up. When I was a teenager, like I wasn't into Magic the Gathering, D&D, anything like that. But I remember growing up and like kids that played that were the nerds, right? And it was like you didn't want to be really associated with those groups when you were trying to be like popular or cool. And now as an adult, when people are like, "Oh, I've never played D&D," I'm like, "That's your loss." Like it's a ton of fun. Anyhow, I need to wrap this up. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us again. the Arlington Food Assistance Center, the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. Those are the charities that benefited today. In the morning, I'll do a final tally on new followers, viewers, and then the multipliers that we have. I think so. Whatever it comes out to, I think I have an extra 45. Let's round it to 50. I will add an extra 50% for everybody joining me playing ball on these dumb trivia questions about me on things that people and Eric knowing every question except for the ones that I was asking him. So I'm gonna give him a little bonus 5% there. We'll do this again in a few months. I plan on doing these I know these get a lot of attention. We'll probably try to bring in some new personalities, but I can say the 3-hour mark is probably where my limit is because I'm starting to get a headache from talking so much. So
charity events.
Yeah, I think I know where my limit is. This video will live on YouTube. Share it with people because every view that gets it is going to be another $1 to charity as well. So, Eric, Vito, it was a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, Tim. Eric, I miss you. I miss you
too, buddy. Miss you too.
Meetup. Maybe I'll come on the show. We'll do the Foxwoods meetup. I'll put a poll up online. We'll find the weekend.
We'll do it. We'll make it happen.
All right, fellas. All right, viewers. Thank you. Deuces.